You want to hear something interesting? There's one person in this entire world that every top-tier gang, every underground boss, every assassin fears the most. His name, Pietro, the man who turned the underworld into his personal graveyard. But the crazy part about this killer, he's not some young prodigy or super soldier. He's an old man in his 60s, still out here wiping out entire syndicates. But then things changed. If life went as planned, he would have retired a legend. But now, every killer in the underworld is after his head. His fortune's gone, his empire's dust. Kinda sad, right? The legend who gave everything to his organization is now the one running for his life. Bleeding out and cornered, the man looks up. It's you, isn't it? The name he whispers, Pietro. The killer everyone fears, standing there like it's just another day. He can't wrap his head around it. Every assassin in the world's hunting this guy. Yet he's the one walking in calm, like death itself doesn't faze him. He's shocked. How's this old man still alive? Still unseen when the whole world's hunting him? Want to know the secret? Pietro just smirks. Says, you could have every assassin, every camera, every eye watching me, and still, you'd never find me. The man's body hits the floor, barely breathing, eyes locked on the figure in front of him. Pietro tilts his head, almost mocking him. It's a shame, but the Pietro you're looking for. The guy freezes. His eyes go wide. No way, that's impossible. The man's eyes widen in shock. He stammers, Pietro. A shadow steps forward, calm, unhurried. A cigarette lights up between his fingers. That's when it hits him. The aura, the silence, the cold stare. He's face to face with the real deal. You're Pietro. 3 months earlier, a quiet alley in Seoul. Nothing special, just another day in the city. Inside a small bookstore, someone's yelling, "Boss, I told you already. You can't keep doing this." Inside the bookstore, a voice keeps scolding him. "You ignore our calls, and you won't even check yourself in a hospital. At this rate," they shout, "you won't even last 3 months." But Pietro doesn't flinch. He just keeps sorting pills with a calm face. "I'm not afraid of death," he thinks. "I've lived my entire life on the edge between life and death." He looks down at an old photo frame, a faint smile on his face. "I've spent 50 years working nonstop," he thinks, "and I don't regret a thing." He flips through a photography book. "I've lived my whole life without regrets, at least that's what I used to believe." But as the thought settles in, his expression softens. "Now that I think about it, I've never even taken a picture of myself." A small bell rings at the door of the old bookstore. A cheerful voice cuts through the silence. "Hello." A high school girl steps in, sunlight following her. She looks around the room stacked with dusty shelves. I was wondering if you have any middle school textbooks?" For a moment, he stays quiet, like he's not used to hearing anyone's voice in this place. Then he turns around with a smile. "Welcome. We've got every book there is, except the ones we don't." She laughs and asks if he's got middle school textbooks. Pietro answers instantly. From the 1960s to 2020, even foreign editions. "Which year do you need?" She says, "The most recent one, please." She smiles and says, "It's for my younger sibling." Her tone's bright, like the kind that instantly warms the room. Pietro nods, glancing toward the window. "You go to that high school across the street, right?" She answers with a cheerful, "Yes." "You must be in your last year," he says, noticing her badge. She looks surprised. "You even know the name tag colors?" Pietro chuckles. "I know everything about this neighborhood." She looks surprised as Pietro sets a huge stack of books on the counter. "Huh, this is not what I wanted," she says awkwardly, staring at the massive pile of brand-new textbooks. She waves her hands, flustered. "I only have 1,001. I can't afford all this, and they're brand new." But Pietro just smiles. "I don't need them anymore. You can take them." She tries to protest, but he cuts her off softly. "It's okay." He tears the plastic wrapping off the stack, his old hands steady and deliberate. "There," he says with a faint smile. "Now they're used, right?" She looks stunned. He adds quietly, "I can tell you really care about your sibling. So, be kind whenever you can." She pauses for a second, his words sinking in. "Be kind when you can, or you'll end up regretting it." As she gathers her things, she hesitates, unsure how to address him. Grandpa? No. Sir? Ajusi? No. Without looking up, he chuckles. You don't want to call me boss? She smiles, realizing it fits. All right, boss. She hesitates before asking, do you have any regrets? He stops tying the books, his hands trembling slightly. I have a lot of regrets, he says quietly. I've lived a long life. It's just... The scene shifts to a memory. A desperate voice echoes. We can't do anything about it. This is the only way you and your daughter can both survive. He exhales, eyes distant. But there's nothing you can do about what's already happened, he says, voice heavy with regret. I'm sure you don't understand now. He continues softly, but be good to your sibling. Don't do anything you'll regret. Before his words can even sink in, the girl suddenly pulls out a knife, her voice sharp and cold. Go back while you can, she warns. Then I won't kill you. Her eyes widen, shock freezing her in place. How did he know? The old man doesn't even flinch. I know the faces of every student from that school, he says, voice calm but cold. But I didn't recognize yours, so I had to check. He tilts his head slightly, eyes glinting. You said you were in your last year, right? A beat of silence. Then his words cut through the air. What a shame for you. That school was built only 2 years ago. Her mind flashes back, the moment he mentioned her name tag. Damn it. Her expression twists with realization. He knew from the start. She grits her teeth. I have no choice now. She lunges forward with the knife. A close-up of her eye, shock and fear collide as something stops her mid-attack. Her thoughts spiral in confusion. What? I'm the one holding the knife. So why? Her grip trembles, the fear shifting from him to herself. The old man stands perfectly still, eyes dark and unreadable. Does it feel like I'm going to be the one to die? He asks quietly. Both freeze, their eyes lock in silent tension. Neither moves, but the air feels razor-sharp. A single sound breaks the silence. Talk. The old man's hand relaxes as she hesitates mid-swing. He turns his back to her, voice low but steady. Take the books. He doesn't even look at her. I know you weren't lying about your younger sibling. He gives a faint smile, voice calm. I've worked in this field for 5 decades. You can tell a lot from someone's eyes, especially when they're lying. She stiffens. His next words hit harder than expected. You're from the honor orphanage, right? Same as me. Her eyes widen. Icha? Wait, I didn't mean, she stammers, caught off guard. He turns his back again, tone shifting cold. I guess you haven't learned this lesson yet. He pauses before finishing. If our organization fails a volunteering project, his calm mask shatters. Veins flare, and his hand ignites with raw power. That means it's time for Plan B. His tone drops, dangerous and final. Before she can even blink, he lunges. His hand wraps around her throat, fast, brutal, precise. She gasps, eyes wide in disbelief. Her mind races. Plan B? What is he talking about? Panic floods her system as she struggles to breathe, realizing this wasn't just about books anymore. Out of nowhere, 2 men crash through the air, reinforcements moving fast. The old man doesn't even flinch, his grip on her throat unshaken as papers explode around them. They land hard, but before they can act, he shoves her down and rolls, dodging the incoming strike with veteran precision. The shelves rattle, books flying everywhere. He pins her to the ground, his cold breath brushing against her face. If you fail your mission, he says quietly, eyes glowing with intent, even the volunteers need to be eliminated. She's frozen for a second, eyes wide as she realizes something's off. Blood starts pouring out from the old man's torso. He's been hit, and it's bad. Before she can even process it, gunfire rains down from above. One of the attackers opens fire, bullets shredding through shelves as the whole place erupts into chaos. The old man whips out a gun and fires back, eyes sharp and full of focus. But before he can react, one of the attackers grabs the girl, pressing a gun to her head. She struggles, gasping for air as the situation flips instantly. His eyes widen in fury. Damn it! He clenches his jaw, realizing he's trapped, and can't make a move without risking her life. One of the attackers swings in from above, landing a brutal hit straight to the old man's face, sending him reeling. The old man tries to fight back, but his movements feel sluggish. His body isn't responding. Something's wrong. The guy smirks, tightening his fist. What? You sure this is the Pietro we're supposed to be afraid of? He mocks, clearly underestimating him. The bald guy smirks, fake politeness in his voice as he apologizes, clearly not meaning it. The old man crashes to the ground while the group approaches him slowly. They mock his reputation, calling him the top assassin who used to hold first rank. The bald man steps forward, his head tattoo glinting under the light. But I guess even you can't beat cancer, he says coldly. His name flashes, codename, Octopus. Boss's informant. Special traits. The old man, bruised and on the ground, glares up at his attacker. Enough with the bullshit, he growls. Why are you trying to kill me? The bald man answers coldly. The boss isn't comfortable. The old man stares back in confusion. With me? Why? The bald man smirks, his tattoo catching the light. There are thousands of people after you, he says, voice calm but laced with menace. A wall of guns is pointed straight at him. The air is tense as the voice says, it's no use crying over spilt milk. The circle of weapons closes in, all aimed at the old man, standing calmly below. The reward for your head is 7.6 billion. The old man looks up, breathing hard. That's somehow the same as the amount on my account, he says bitterly. The bald man smirks. Yes. It's the money you worked so hard to save your entire life. He tilts his head slightly, voice dripping with mock sympathy. But for that money to go to someone else. His grin twists into something monstrous as he bursts out laughing. How and awesome is that? The old man glares up, face hardened with rage as his enemy mocks him. So, Sunbeam, the man says coldly, please make sure to die by my hand. Before he can react, a brutal punch lands square on his jaw, sending his head snapping to the side. The attackers swarm him, fists and kicks flying. This is why you should have stayed quiet and dug your own grave, one of them shouts. Why do you have to make things so damn annoying for us? The thug charges forward, landing a brutal hit that sends Pietro flying straight through the curtain and into the next room. One of them chuckles, watching the body slump. He's knocked out. Guess that's that, he says. The other laughs. Man, I was nervous coming here, but this turned out easy. Let's just finish it. Behind the curtain, Pietro lies motionless, blood dripping from his mouth. One of the men pulls the curtain aside, completely unaware of what's about to happen next. With a bloodied grin, Pietro raises his hand slightly and mutters, "It's a small gift for me." The bald man's eyes widen as something metallic clatters to the floor. A flashbang. Flashbang, he shouts in panic. Realization hits too late. His face twists in dread as he blurts out, "Fuck," before the explosion erupts. A loud blast erupts from the building, light cutting through the rain. The flashbang goes off, shaking the street. The men rush out in a panic, smoke still curling behind them. "He's gone," one yells. "Damn it. He let us here on purpose." Back inside, Octopus growls. He couldn't have gone far. He was bleeding badly, while the woman, still in shock, stares ahead, realizing Pietro just vanished into the storm. Rain pours over an empty playground, the sound of thunder drowning the city's silence. Under the jungle gym, Pietro collapses, gasping for air, blood mixing with rainwater. Every breath looks like it could be his last. His thoughts echo bitterly in his head. I didn't even get to put up a proper fight. Pietro collapses face first into the puddle, trembling as blood drips from his mouth. Every breath sounds heavier than the rain. A bitter thought crosses his mind. I sure have gotten old. His fading eyes look up through the downpour, memories flooding in. Looking back on it now, he remembers his youth, a room full of kids assembling guns instead of books. My entire life was just work, while others were studying. He remembers the blood, the pain, and the endless training. I spent every day of the year learning how to wield a knife while others learned how to live. Scenes of him at a desk full of radios and wires flash by. While they were falling in love, I was learning to wiretap until my ears bled. Snow, frostbite, and shadows, his memories grow colder. When they built families, I became a spy buried in Russia's winter. He recalls years spent undercover, surrounded by gunfire and chaos. I survived countless threats inside terrorist groups, risking my life every single day. The tone shifts, his voice hardens. But everything changed the moment a new boss took over. A man sits in the dark, confidence radiating from his posture. Senile old man. He mutters, a smirk curling on his lips. He talks about Pietro with disdain. He used to be feared, but now he's gone soft from age and sickness. The smirk widens into something cruel. It's time to throw him away. Pietro struggles to breathe, rain pouring over his battered body. I gave up everything for this life. I never asked for luxury. He grits his teeth, blood mixing with rain. But is this really all I have to show for it? His trembling hand claws at the ground. No, he can't treat me like this. Pietro struggles to stay upright, his body trembling. I can't die here not like this. I can't lose that money. Blood drips from his mouth as he clenches his jaw. That money, a flash of memory, his daughter, crying in fear, clinging to him. It's all for her. His vision blurs as tears mix with the rain. His last thought burns in his eyes, regret and rage. Pietro collapses completely, blood pooling beneath him as the rain keeps falling. The camera pulls away. His lifeless body lies in the empty playground, rain drowning out the sound of his final breath. Rain pours over the neon-lit flower temple, the base of the octopus gang, buzzing with criminal energy. Inside, one of the goons slams his fist on the counter. Damn it, if I'd killed that old man, the 7.6 billion would have been mine. Another scoffs. Why is there such a high price on some washed-up geezer anyway? The second man grins, dumping a pile of gold coins on the table. Legend or not, money talks. I gave up my kickboxing title for this life. Just wait and see. The thug glares at Pietro's photo, muttering, I'm gonna kill this old bastard and finally make it big. A calm voice interrupts. Did you know? That's the first picture I ever took. They turn, eyes wide. Standing in the doorway is Pietro himself, soaked in rain, very much alive. WH what? Pietro. The man in the red shirt steps forward, calm but cold. Ah, I guess I should say it's the first picture of me that was ever taken. One of the thugs squints, confused. Wait, that's not him. I thought it was because of the clothes. He grips his chest, voice low. I don't get it either. I just woke up like this. The thugs glance at each other, unsettled. What? What the hell is he mumbling about? One of the goons smirks, resting his hand on Pietro's shoulder. Sorry, kid. You're in the wrong place. This isn't where a student like you belongs. Pietro's grip tightens around the man's wrist, his voice cold and steady. I know exactly where I am. Take me to Octopus before I lose my patience. The two thugs exchange glances, confused, cautious. One mutters, What's with this guy? The thug laughs with a mocking grin. Ah, so you're also in this field, huh? What did you come here for? His smile twists into a sneer as he lunges forward, throwing a punch. In any case, if you're in this field, you have to die. Mid-swing, his eyes widen in confusion. The thug's eyes bulge in shock as Pietro effortlessly stops his punch midair. What the fuck? He shouts, straining against the unmoving hand holding him in place. His mind races. How is he this strong? He blocked it with just one hand. Fear flickers across his face as realization sets in. Close up on Pietro, his face still shadowed, his grip tightening. Silent, cold, and terrifying. Pietro's voice is calm, almost too calm, as he tilts his head down. Yes, I am. With a brutal twist, he crushes the thug's hand in his grip. Bones snap like dry wood. The thug screams, charging in with a knife, rage written all over his face. Before he can blink, Pietro moves, one hit, and the guy's body folds, the air cracking from the impact. The last thug steps back in shock, clutching his knife. WH what? Where did you come from? He yells, his voice trembling. Pietro turns his back slightly, voice low and cold. Being good with a knife, that's third-rate. The thug freezes, his confidence slipping as Pietro continues. Being good with all weapons is second-rate, Pietro says, stepping closer, his tone calm but deadly. He lifts a bloodied tentacle from the table, eyes sharp. First-rate is being able to use anything as a weapon. The thug's face twists in disbelief. He's going to use an octopus tentacle, he blurts, completely thrown off. He snaps, yelling in frustration as he rushes forward with his knife. What the hell are you talking about? Before he can even blink, Pietro swings the slimy tentacle like a whip, sending the knife flying from the thug's hand in an instant. The thug's eyes widen in panic. He can't even process what's happening. In one clean motion, Pietro swings the tentacle across his face, the impact sending water splattering everywhere. The thug collapses, choking and gasping, tentacle marks wrapping around his neck as he lets out a strangled "cook." The thug's body is flung through the air like a rag doll, the tentacle coiled around him as Pietro yanks him effortlessly. Without hesitation, Pietro swings him over a massive boiling pot, the steam hissing up as if warning what's coming next. And then, boom, the man's body crashes straight into the pot, flames and broth exploding out as the kitchen fills with the sound of chaos. The thug lies sprawled on the floor, burned and trembling, barely able to speak. "Who are you? Why?" he stammers. Pietro crouches down, picking up a crumpled photograph from the ground. He looks at it, a photo of the old man in the red shirt, and mutters coldly, "Is this the only picture of me you have?" Pietro's voice echoes in narration. He was once the best in his field, the man everyone feared and respected. But now, he's back, in his younger body. He lights a cigarette, a faint smirk forming. "The thousands of you won't ever find me," he says, confident, dangerous, and fully aware that his second life has just begun. Pietro's voice cuts through the silence. "The old Pietro you're looking for." He stares forward with cold, red eyes as flames rise behind him. The photo of his older self burns away. Is dead. And with that, a new legend begins. Pietro, young once again. The scene shifts to a black car, speeding through the neon-lit city. One of the agents inside shouts, "We were so close, but we lost him." Inside the car, the man in the suit says calmly, "Soon, Pietro's official wanted order will be announced. And before that happens, I need to get him." He glances toward his partner and adds coldly, "He's almost dead because of cancer. It'll be great if he can share with his juniors, right?" Rain pours outside a quiet restaurant glowing under warm lights, the calm before the storm. Pietro steps in, still wearing his blood-stained red shirt, his eyes sharp and focused, hand gripping the door handle. He scans the empty dining hall, silence heavy in the air, as if the whole place is holding its breath. Then, in a low voice, he mutters, "So octopus extends my life." The scene shifts to a busy station filled with people rushing past. The rain has stopped, but tension lingers in the air. A few onlookers freeze, eyes wide in disbelief. "Whoa, who is that? What does he do?" one of them blurts out. Inside the restroom, Pietro stares at his reflection, his younger, muscular body staring back. "Does this make sense?" he mutters, still trying to process what just happened. Pietro looks down at his hands, shocked. The bullet scars that once tore through his body are gone, and even the cancer that was killing him has vanished. He stares at his reflection again, voice trembling. "I've become my younger self. How did something like this happen?" His thoughts echo, uncertain but determined. "I don't know why this has happened." A wanted poster of the old Pietro hangs on the wall, 7.6 billion won on his head. But the man standing before it, younger and sharper, smirks. "They won't recognize me now." He stares into the distance, thinking, no matter where they search, they'll never find the old Pietro. His serious expression fades slightly as he looks down at his torn shirt. More importantly, "I need to buy some clothes." As Pietro walks through the station, he overhears someone talking on the phone about an 80 million won payment from a commercial deal. He pauses, curious. Another voice chimes in, saying the account balance was only 100,000 won. Something about that catches Pietro's attention. He He turns to see a group of men laughing cruelly. They mock a struggling actor who couldn't afford his mother's medicine because of a bad contract. The air turns cold as Pietro silently watches them, his expression hardening. Two gangsters joke around, laughing about spending stolen money on luxury clothes. One mocks the other for flexing his Louis Vuitton, while the other proudly calls himself the boss. The heavier one smirks, explaining how designer clothes help him manipulate people during deals, a twisted business tactic. Their conversation gets cut off when Pietro steps in, calm but cold. "This is a non-smoking area. Go smoke outside." The two turn to him, irritated. "What? Who the hell is this guy?" The two gangsters close in on Pietro, puffing smoke in his face. "You talking to us?" One sneers. Pietro shoots back coldly. "Are there any other smokers here?" One of them slaps him across the face, laughing. "Get lost, kid. This young's in a good mood today, so I'll let it slide. Don't go around meddling, you'll die early." Pietro stays calm, rubbing his cheek as he turns away. The gangsters chuckle behind him, calling him names. "Let's not waste time on these idiots," one says smugly. But Pietro's silence says everything. This isn't over. Pietro flips the switch with a calm, deliberate motion. "Let's not waste any time." He locks the door behind him, his voice steady. "And end this quickly." The gangsters laugh, clueless about what's coming. "Who the hell is he?" "Some manners freak." One jokes. The other snickers. "It's make the man, you idiot." Pietro rolls up his sleeve, eyes sharp and calm. "I'll show you what happens when you disrespect adults in Korea, a country of courteous people." The thug scoffs, raising his hand. He's still talking informally? His buddy grins. "Let's kill him for real today." Pietro just tilts his head. "Hey, come over here." Before the man can react, Pietro's fist crashes into his chest like a sledgehammer, sending him flying back with a thunderous impact. The big guy eats a savage hit. Jaw snaps back, spit flies, dude stunned. Pietro follows up, powering him through the air like a rag doll and slamming him down. The leftover thug waves a knife, screaming, "Who the hell are you?" Too late. Pietro's already in control. Pietro doesn't even look back. He calmly points out the knife in the thug's hand. A pocket knife. His tone's casual, like he's correcting a student. He glances over his shoulder. "You're holding it the wrong way. You'll cut your finger off if you hold it like that." The guy freezes, startled that this stranger even noticed that detail. Embarrassed, the thug tries to act tough, flailing the knife forward. Who's the one swinging it, huh?" "You son of a..." His bravado cracks mid-sentence. Pietro doesn't flinch, his tone calm and cold. "If you were going to stab me." His red eyes lock onto the man, muscles tense. "Your arm wouldn't be in front of you." He's analyzing the guy's stance like a predator sizing up prey. The thug snaps, yelling in rage, "Shut the fuck up!" and charges with the knife, his face twisted in anger as he swings wildly. The thug lunges forward, knife flashing through the air, but Pietro blocks effortlessly, twisting his wrist and knocking the blade clean out of his hand. In one swift motion, Pietro drives the man to the floor and strikes with brutal precision, hitting vital points as blue light bursts from the impact. The thug's face twists in shock and pain, eyes wide with terror. He screams, clutching his chest. Pietro stands tall, holding the knife calmly. "I didn't stab you," he says coldly. "If I did, you'd have died 3 times already." The gangster stumbles back on the floor, terrified, shouting, Who the hell are you?" Pietro walks toward him calmly, saying he doesn't care what kind of illegal stuff they're into. Suddenly, Pietro grabs the man's shoulder with brutal force. The thug screams, "My shoulder!" as veins pop and pain floods his face. Pietro leans in close, his tone cold and final. "Then you need to die here, you young bastard." Pietro stares down at the terrified thug trembling on the bathroom floor. He sighs and mutters, "Your pants won't do." The gangster blinks in confusion, stammering, "Pardon." Pietro looks down coldly and says, "Stay on the right path from now on." Cut to Pietro checking his phone. His bank balance shows 0 He frowns as the thought hits him. My 7.6 billion is gone. Pietro walks through the crowded station in a sharp suit, scrolling his phone. His expression is calm but cold. I told him not to touch that money. He looks up, eyes burning with quiet anger. All right. In the end, that's what you guys are worth. As he walks past a young couple chatting about scholarship, the contrast hits. His world is far darker. The soft glow of normal life surrounds them, while Pietro's shadow stretches long behind him. Pietro narrates how he grew up in the Honor Orphanage, a small religious facility that raised him. Time passes, and 50 years later, the same group that once claimed to help the poor now flaunts massive charity ads. The Glory Club poses as saviors feeding malnourished children, just a front for something darker. Their banners light up the whole city, showing how deep their power runs. The so-called Glory Group is just a mask for a massive cartel that controls politics and wealth. Pietro's expression hardens, eyes burning with resolve. Since it's the company I built, I'll be the one to destroy it. The scene shifts to a remote warehouse under a moonlit sky, surrounded by crates and silence. Something bad's about to go down. Inside, a man sits between rows of hanging meat, smirking with arrogance. He scoffs, "What? You came to get me alone?" Another figure steps forward calmly, bald, massive, dressed sharp. His voice is steady. "You're not Pietro. If it's you, there's no need to bring anyone else." The man sitting down scoffs, rubbing his temples. "You Glory Club guys are getting too greedy. Keep trusting Pietro, and you'll all die early." The bald man doesn't even flinch. "Who cares if I die early or not?" He calmly closes his eyes, voice low but cold. "Let's end this talk and finish this quickly. You know it'll hurt less that way." The seated man laughs mockingly, leaning forward with a smirk. "Ha ha. For a kid, you talk big. What am I going to do with you, geez?" The man smirks, voice dripping with arrogance. "I've basically set up a festival for our guest." The scene shifts. A line of towering mercenaries steps out behind him, all muscle and menace. The air tightens. Text flashes. Vacna Mercenary, the best civilian military enterprise in the West. Since 1984. The seated boss narrows his eyes, his thoughts racing. He's not one of Glory Club's 12 disciples, so why is he acting so damn cocky? Then out loud, he snaps, "What are you doing? Our guest is waiting." The boss grins wickedly and says, "Treat him well." In an instant, the mercenaries charge forward like a pack of wolves, surrounding the bald man with killing intent. The bald man lowers his head slightly, calm, emotionless, a faint smirk forming as pressure bursts from him like a shockwave. Moments later, silence. A chair lies on the floor, drenched in blood, the only sign of what just happened. The boss stumbles back, eyes wide in horror, muttering, "Impossible, what's this?" as he stares at the blood pooling around him. Sweat drips down his face. His voice shakes. How can a human, he can't even finish the sentence. The bald man steps out of the shadows with a calm, eerie smile. "For someone who prepared a feast," he says, tilting his head, "it's a lot blander than I thought." Octopus grins while effortlessly twisting a man's body like it's nothing. His calm voice cuts through the chaos. "Don't you think?" They call him Octopus, rank B+, a monster with full body flexibility, Korea's #1 in jiu-jitsu. The boss's face twists in terror, sweat dripping as he stumbles back. "Do not come any closer," he screams, voice cracking. Octopus rushes forward with that same chilling smile, closing the distance in a blink as the boss yells, "Go away." The scene shifts to a quiet building glowing under the sunset, a traditional place hiding something dark inside. Inside, the floor is a mess of blood and spilled food. Two bodies lie motionless, one sprawled across the tiles, the other slumped in the back, barely visible. Two people walk across the dim hallway. The CCTV was destroyed, and there are no traces of any weapons? Yes. The other responds coldly. Then there's only one person who could have done this. Octopus walks through the dim corridor, his tone calm but sharp. "It's Pietro. That old man's still alive, and he started killing our guys." The woman behind him, her eye covered by a bandage, stays silent but tense. As they pass a golden dragon mural glowing in the light, he continues coldly, Pietro's wanted order will be issued soon. No matter what, I need to get him first. He glances back slightly, his tone firm. Report to me when you find his location. The woman nods silently as the air around them thickens with tension. The girl with the eye patch remembers Pietro, the man who once smiled gently at her. She recalls how kind he was, how he risked everything to save her when no one else would. Those memories, warm yet painful, flicker alongside the image of blood and tragedy that followed. She snaps back to the present, her expression firm though her voice trembles slightly. Yes. The grand doors open under the glow of hanging lanterns, their lights spilling across the floor. The calm before the storm. Her next move has already begun. Octopus, the girl with the eye patch, and a man in a red vest step into the restaurant, surprised. Octopus looks around, confused. Huh? What's this? We're not even open today. Inside, a man sits calmly at a round table under the warm light, eating as if he owns the place. The guy in red frowns and asks, "What brings you here? Do you have a meeting with us?" The man pauses mid-bite, his expression unreadable. "I don't," he says quietly, then lifts his eyes, cold and sharp. "But I do have a grudge." Octopus tilts his head slightly, his tone half-teasing. "A grudge? What? Someone pressuring you for credit?" The stranger replies calmly, "Yes, but it's a large amount." The man lifts his eyes, his voice steady but cold. "About 7.6 billion. The air instantly grows heavier around the table. Octopus smiles politely, but the tension behind that grin says it all. He knows this isn't about money. It's about payback. Octopus's expression turns cold, the light slicing across his tattooed head. His voice drops, calm but deadly. "Close the door." He stares at the man still seated at the table. "I think you're related to Pietro. But even if you aren't, you're not getting out of here alive." Octopus narrows his eyes, pausing for a beat. But Octopus studies the man carefully, his thoughts sharp and suspicious. What's with him? How does he know about Pietro? His eyes narrow. There's no information on this guy anywhere. Is he part of the club? Or something worse? Octopus narrows his eyes, thoughts racing. Is he Pietro's hidden son? No, maybe a disciple? But he quickly shakes off the idea. That's not it. Pietro was always alone. Their eyes lock. Octopus is calm, but sharp gaze meets the stranger's unflinching stare. The air between them feels like it could snap. Octopus lifts 2 fingers, his tone suddenly light but filled with menace. "I'll give you a chance to live." He smirks slightly, still holding up his hand. 2 choices. 1. Tell us where Pietro is, and you walk out. 2. Refuse, and I'll personally put a bullet in your head. Pietro sits there, unbothered, almost amused. "What should I do?" "I don't really like either of those options," he says with a smirk. Octopus's men tense up immediately. No one's ever talked back like that. Without flinching, Pietro lifts a piece of food with his chopsticks and says coldly, "There's never been anyone who survived after hearing that." His tone is calm, but it carries the weight of death. He leans back slightly, voice low and confident. "How about this instead?" A wicked grin spreads across his face. "Option 3, he says. "I'm Pietro." The entire room freezes, everybody realizing too late who they just threatened. Pietro drops his name like a bomb. "I'm Pietro." The room falls silent. Even the air seems to stop moving. His eyes glow with quiet fury as he leans forward. "And I killed your subordinates." Every word lands like a knife, calm but merciless. Octopus freezes for a moment, disbelief written all over his face. His voice trembles as he stares at Pietro. "What did you just say?" Pietro leans back casually, voice dripping with sarcasm. "God, a young man like you already has hearing problems?" "I said I killed those too." The confidence in his tone makes everyone's blood run cold. Octopus's thoughts spiral. What the hell is he talking about? Pietro didn't kill them? He clenches his jaw, realizing the situation's shifting fast. If he's telling the truth, and Pietro didn't kill them. He glares at Pietro, who's still eating like nothing happened. Then why the hell did this guy attack us? Octopus steps forward, his voice cold and controlled. Hey kid, for your information, this is a real gun. He loads it with a click that echoes through the room. Now, let's be clear. How are you related to Pietro? Pietro just looks at him, calm as ever, not even blinking, not even flinching. His eyes carry a silent warning, like he's already decided how this will end. The girl with the eye patch tightens her grip on a blade, stepping into position beside Octopus. Her expression hardens. She knows exactly who they're facing, and she's not taking any chances. Octopus stares at Pietro with a smirk, asking if he really wants to know. Pietro calmly replies, "Yep, I do." Octopus grins, saying there's only one way to find out. Without hesitation, Pietro lifts his chopsticks and says, "Just kill me." His voice is cold, like he's daring them to try. Octopus laughs, saying he's pretty good at that, while his guy in the red vest cocks the gun and aims straight at Pietro. The moment the guy pulls the trigger, a chopstick flies through the air and pierces straight into his neck. The gunshot goes wild as he chokes in shock, completely missing his target. His body collapses to the floor with a heavy thud. The girl freezes in disbelief, eyes wide as she realizes what just happened. She stares at the fallen body, stunned, thinking, no way, it pierced his vital point. Pietro calmly reaches into the container and picks up another chopstick, like nothing even happened. Octopus watches him closely, thinking, this guy's around my age, but no one I know could pull that off. Not even anyone in the entire Glory Club. Hell, probably no one in the whole country. Octopus stays quiet for a moment, then smiles slightly and admits, that was cool. Octopus steps over the body, grinning like nothing happened. He praises Pietro for having guts and asks what club he's from, then casually offers him a spot on his own team. But the moment passes and rage takes over. Octopus snaps, yelling in fury and unloading his gun straight at Pietro. Bullets fly across the room as Pietro flips the heavy table, using it as a shield while the wood splinters from the impact. Octopus laughs mockingly, calling Pietro a kid who doesn't know how the real world works. He points at the table riddled with bullet holes, smoke still rising, and taunts him. This isn't a movie. That table can't save you. Gun in hand, he walks closer, giving Pietro one last chance to talk. He says it's a shame to waste someone with that much skill, but orders him to come out so he can finish it himself. Octopus fires nonstop, shouting that once he's done, he'll clean up the mess himself. But suddenly, he freezes. Something's off. He looks down, realizing the red liquid splattered everywhere isn't blood at all. It's chili oil. Octopus spins around the room, shouting in frustration, Pietro's gone. He checks behind the pillar, but there's no one there. He keeps moving, gun ready, completely lost. He mutters that Pietro's vanished like a ghost. Suddenly, his eyes widen. He realizes too late something's above him. Pietro drops down from the ceiling, gripping a beam with one hand and glaring down like a predator about to strike. Pietro drops down and smashes a whole splash of hot chili oil straight into Octopus's face, burning red liquid flying everywhere. Octopus screams and fires wildly, blinded by the heat, but Pietro's already moving and fast. With perfect timing, Pietro twists his body, knocks the gun clean out of his hand. Then comes the finisher. Pietro drives a brutal punch right into Octopus's face, sending him reeling. Octopus's vision blurs as chili oil burns his eyes. He's panicking, completely unable to keep up with Pietro's movements. He looks up just in time to see Pietro towering over him, hands ready to strike, pure dominance in his eyes. Before Octopus can react, Pietro's hand clamps around his face, slamming his head with brutal force. Octopus collapses, lifeless on the floor, while Pietro stands over him, calm, cold, and completely unfazed. Pietro looks down silently, his expression calm but unreadable, like he's already done with the fight before it even started. Octopus lies on the floor, barely breathing, disbelief written all over his face as Pietro steps closer. In his fading thoughts, Octopus can't comprehend it. 10 years of fighting, countless battles, and yet he's never faced anyone this terrifying at such a young age. The do-or-die tactic. The words ring in Octopus's head. He remembers his old instructor's voice telling him that one day he'd face someone far stronger. The only way to survive would be to strike the instant their guard drops. Young Octopus had repeated it back then, the do-or-die tactic, never imagining he'd be the one on the receiving end of it someday. Octopus's voice echoes. Since then, I polished a technique only I could use. Flashback to his brutal training days. He's got another trainee locked in a chokehold, squeezing harder as his instructor yells at him to tighten it. No mercy, no hesitation. The instructor's cold words linger. Never turn your back when you think you've won. That's when you die. Never trust yourself. Young Octopus smiles darkly. After years of obsession, he finally perfected it. In his mind, he's unbeatable now. Octopus suddenly opens his eyes wide. He's locked onto his target, his instincts kicking in at full speed. In a split second, he grabs the guy's leg and twists it violently, catching him off guard. He spins his body with precision, wrapping his arm around like a coiled snake ready to strike. Then he locks in the chokehold, both of them straining as Octopus tightens it, his killer technique in full force. Octopus has Pietro in a chokehold, snarling like a maniac. He screams that he's been doing this since before Pietro was even born, his voice cracking with rage. He tightens his grip, veins bulging as he roars. Do you get it now? Die! Completely losing control. Then, out of nowhere, a calm voice cuts through the noise. Wow, that took a while. Octopus's face twists in confusion. He looks up and sees Pietro standing right in front of him, perfectly fine. His heart sinks. If Pietro's there, then who the hell is he choking? Octopus freezes as he realizes the body on the floor isn't Pietro. It's his own subordinate. His eyes widen in disbelief, cursing himself for the mistake. He looks shaken, sweat dripping down his face. 10 years in this line of work, and he's never felt fear like this. He steadies his breath, trying to convince himself, but deep down he already knows. Pietro stands over him, calm and cold. Octopus's heart sinks as the truth hits. He's going to die here at the hands of this man. Octopus backs up fast, throwing his hands up. He's desperate now, voice cracking as he tries to reason with Pietro. Wait, let's talk this out. In a split second, he grabs the woman beside him, locking his arm around her neck. You can take her, he yells, desperate. She might not be that experienced, but she's still useful. The woman struggles, shouting that she won't go with him, but Octopus snaps at her, his voice trembling with fear and anger. Shut up. We're in the middle of an important conversation. Pietro's voice cuts through the tension, calm but sharp. Okay, deal. Octopus freezes, surprised that he agreed so easily. Octopus bursts into a shaky laugh, still holding the woman hostage. As expected from a Glory Club member. You make decisions quick. Great, this is perfect, a done deal. He starts backing toward the exit, waving his free hand. Take her with you. Use her however you want. Let's just forget this ever happened, all right? But under his breath, his grin twists dark. You bastard. I'll find out who you are and tear you apart. Pietro's eyes narrow, voice cold and steady, the do-or-die tactic. Octopus turns his head slightly, confused. What? Pietro steps forward, his tone sharp. If you ever turn your back, thinking you've won. The air around him thickens with tension. Octopus's expression freezes. Pietro's words echo in his mind. When you think you've won. Flashback, a younger Octopus stands among trainees, his mentor's voice ringing out. You'll face a strong enemy someday. When that happens, wait for their guard to drop, then strike. That's your only chance to win. Back to the present. Pietro's calm, deadly smile returns. I killed 2 of your subordinates. He leans forward slightly, his tone cold. Out of 7.6 billion people, you should have known better than to mess with me. Octopus's voice shakes. In no way. This isn't possible. He stares at Pietro like he's seeing a ghost. A memory flashes, his old mentor standing tall under the dim training lights. The same man who taught him everything about survival and the do-or-die tactic. His eyes widen in horror as realization hits. Pietro, the mentor for back then, is the monster standing before him now. Octopus's eyes shake as Pietro's voice cuts through the silence. Do you remember it? Why, I said back then. Octopus's lips tremble, blood dripping down his chin. He can't even look up. Of the people who learn who Pietro is, the words echo in his mind like a death sentence. Not one is alive. Pietro's lips curve into a cold smirk. Bingo! He lunges forward like lightning, arm cutting through the air with precision. His strike lands. The impact is brutal. Octopus's body twists as blood bursts from his side, pain freezing his expression. In one clean motion, Pietro finishes it. His blow launches Octopus upward, the force tearing through him as crimson light floods the room. Night settles over the glowing city. Sirens wail in the distance, flashing lights cutting through the skyline. A calm voice speaks over a comms line. Octopus is confirmed to be dead. The CCTV footage inside was deleted, and when we got there were no traces left. The figure stares at the skyline. An old man on the verge of death after being shot returns within a day and kills 4 trained killers without leaving a trace. Bare feet touch the cold floor as the man speaks with quiet authority. A bounty of 7.6 billion. SSS rank mission. His voice deepens. Tell this to all Glory members across the nation. The air grows heavier. Under the moonlight, the man turns, his massive back revealing a ferocious tattoo. An hour from now, I will issue a hunt for Pietro. The city is alive. Lights flicker, cars honk, and people cross the street under neon signs. Everything looks normal, unaware of the chaos brewing beneath. A little girl tugs on her father's hand, eyes wide with curiosity. Look, Dad. She points toward a massive digital billboard. Standing nearby, Pietro glances up too, his expression unreadable. His sharp eyes take in the scene like he's piecing something together. The billboard flashes with a familiar face and a slogan about charity. Treat the elderly to a warm meal. Pietro's lips curl slightly. They really went all out distributing those flyers. Volunteers greet people on the street, handing out flyers. We're the Glory Welfare Foundation, share with others for 20,001 a month. Pietro takes one of the flyers. The smiling image on it feels twisted in his eyes. The words read, treat the elderly to a warm meal. His grip tightens. There's no need to look for me. The paper crumples in his hand. Veins tense, resolve hardens. He steps into the neon-lit night, his voice low but sharp as steel. Because I'm coming for you myself. Pietro walks through the city, already planning his next move. He knows clearing out the Glory Club won't be a solo job anymore, and he's mentally narrowing down who's actually worth trusting. The thought lands on one name, but the moment it does, his instincts flare up. This isn't just a normal ally. This is someone dangerous enough to flip the entire board. The figure stands in the dark with a beast at his side, radiating pure threat. Pietro admits it to himself. This guy isn't weak, isn't predictable, and definitely isn't safe. And that's exactly what makes him useful. Pietro reaches the abandoned public restroom. The place already screaming trouble. Broken tiles, trash everywhere, and that heavy silence that tells him this won't be simple. He pushes the door open without hesitation. The moment it moves, he knows. Someone's inside. Too many people. Inside, bodies are piled across the floor like garbage. Pietro scans the mess, annoyed more than shocked, already realizing this job just got more complicated. Pietro slips through the mess without slowing down, quietly apologizing as he steps past the old man, blocking the way. No hesitation, no eye contact, just straight business. He scans the wall like a pro, eyes moving fast, filtering out the noise. In his head, he's already narrowing it down to the dirtiest jobs on the list. His hand stops. He finds the exact contact he was looking for. No doubt, no second guess. This is the one. Pietro stops at the top of the stairs, takes one slow look down, and instantly recognizes the place. Same layout. Same smell of money. Nothing's changed. He exhales, eyes sharpening. already reading the space like a battlefield. His body relaxes, but his guard goes up. This isn't nostalgia. It's confirmation. Pietro steps inside without hesitation, calm and focused, thinking how the Glory Club still loves luxury, and how that luxury is about to become a liability. Pietro scans the place and instantly clocks it for what it is. Same old den, just covered up with luxury and cash. Nothing's changed, just more money dumped on top. A blade quietly presses against Pietro's neck, testing him. He doesn't flinch, not even a reaction. To him, this threat barely registers. Pietro turns his head slightly and shuts it down cold. Silk clothes, jade dishes, flashy tastes. He makes it clear those things don't matter to him at all. The woman casually presses the blade against Pietro's neck, calling him blind like it's nothing, while her dog growls beside her. She's completely relaxed, like she already owns the room. She smiles behind her glasses, muttering that things were quiet for a while, but it looks like she's about to deal with another body. No tension in her voice, just confidence. Her lips curl into a sharp grin. She's already decided how this is going to end. A silhouette steps forward in the dark, calmly analyzing him. No booze on him, no drunk stink, so he's clearly not some random bum from the streets. The presence feels wrong. Too much killing intent leaking out. Way too sharp to be a petty thief. This guy lives in blood. The conclusion hits instantly. The threat is confirmed. Whoever this is, he's dangerous, and the situation just got serious. Pietro calmly calls it out, asking if Glory sent them, like he already knows the answer and doesn't even care anymore. The woman moves first, swinging hard and fast, taking control of the fight in one clean motion and blowing the whole room apart. She looks down at Pietro with pure contempt, brushing him off like he's nothing more than a nuisance, calling him a little rat. She swings without hesitation, warning him mid-strike like it's casual. The hit comes fast and clean, zero mercy, zero drama. The impact sends him flying straight into the wall. The room shakes, money and debris scatter, and she coolly points out the damage like he just scratched her car. Pietro steadies himself, eyes tracking the blade near his neck. His expression doesn't panic. It sharpens. For the first time, he's genuinely questioning who he's dealing with. She comes flying in midair, grinning like this is fun, calling him out while launching a clean, brutal kick straight at him. Blind or not, her timing is perfect. For a split second, he freezes. His eyes widen as he realizes this isn't an act. She's really blind and still reading every move. Before he can recover, she flips over his shoulder, locks her legs around him, and slams him down hard, completely reversing the fight in one smooth motion. Pietro reverses the throw mid-fall, twists his body, and drives her down hard, using her own force against her before she can react. She crashes onto the couch, stunned, while Pietro pins her in place and admits she surprised him. For a split second, it sounds like praise. Then his expression sharpens. The compliment ends, and he makes it clear this fight isn't over yet. Pietro's eyes narrow as the name lands. Alexander Miking. The knife pauses mid-air, not for mercy, but recognition. So this is who Glory sent. Mentioning a name like that isn't bravado. It's a warning. The pressure shifts. Pietro eases just enough to breathe, but the threat never leaves. He gets it now. This woman isn't here for bloodlust. She's here because this line of work doesn't allow hesitation. Not for the blind. Not for the strong. A faint smile curves on Pietro's lips. Alexander Miking. Glory really is scraping the bottom. If this is their answer to him, then they've already made a mistake. And soon, they'll understand just how fatal it is. The dog lunges first. No hesitation. Teeth clamp down hard, ripping the air with a savage snap. The room explodes into chaos before anyone can even process the move. The woman freezes. Her blank eyes widen just a little. That wasn't part of the plan. The pressure on her body vanishes as the balance of the fight collapses in an instant. Pietro straightens calmly, one hand steadying the dog as it growls low and lethal. So that's it. Alexander McKing wasn't bluffing after all. She freezes, staring straight at his face, fingers trembling as she grips his cheeks. The wrinkles she remembers aren't there. The tired eyes are gone. In their place is a younger man, sharp and unfamiliar. Her breath catches as the realization hits. Her voice cracks as she blurts it out, half disbelief, half panic. He winces, trying to pull her hands away, clearly annoyed more than shocked. This wasn't how he planned to reveal anything. He exhales slowly and tells her stop. Not because she's wrong, but because this isn't the time. His eyes harden again, the same look from before. Whatever changed his body didn't change who he is or what he came here to do. Pietro looks at the mess on the floor, the woman half laughing, half serious, the dog wagging like this is a game. He exhales slowly. Yeah, this is exactly how I didn't die. She freezes for half a second, then slowly pushes herself up, staring at him like she just cracked a mystery she wasn't supposed to. Then you really did come back. Her smile widens, sharp and excited. A second life. Same skills. Younger body. Pietro stands, straightening his jacket, eyes calm again. Don't get the wrong idea, he says flatly. I didn't come back to play house. His gaze hardens. I came back to clean everything up, glory included. Pietro turns slightly, calm but cold. He tells her glory isn't something you rush head on. You cut down piece by piece. Money lines, safe houses, names that never make it to paper. He continues, saying he's not hunting glory. He's erasing it. No witnesses, no heroes, no dramatic ending. Just silence where forcing their power used to be. He looks back at her and says if she really wants in, she follows one rule. Don't chase revenge. Let revenge come to you. Pietro doesn't turn back. His voice stays calm, almost bored. The center of glory, where every order starts and every secret ends. She leans back on the sofa, smile fading just a little as it clicks. You're not hunting from the outside. You're walking straight into their headquarters. Pietro's eyes harden. If I want glory to fall, I can't dodge the storm. I have to stand where it's quiet, right in the middle. Pietro doesn't even look back. His voice stays calm as he explains that glory only understands one thing: fear. If they want control over him, he'll flip it first and walk straight into their territory. The woman freezes, staring at his back. She realizes he's not joking or posturing. This isn't revenge fueled by rage. It's calculated, cold, the kind of resolve you only see in someone who's already died once. Pietro turns slightly, red eyes sharp. He says it plainly. If glory wants a killer, he'll become a nightmare that haunts the club itself, and anyone standing in his way will be treated the same. She freezes mid-thought, eyes widening as everything clicks into place. If no one recognizes him anymore, then glory won't see him as prey. They'll see him as a variable. She grips his jacket tighter, voice dropping. If he becomes glory's killer, they won't hunt him directly. They'll throw everything they have at the shadow, cutting them down. Her lips curl into a sharp smile. Instead of chasing him, glory will be too busy panicking, because the storm won't be coming at him anymore. It'll be swallowing them whole. Pietro's eyes soften for just a second, the calm smile still there. He leans back slightly, like he's already bored of the idea. The people planning around him don't even realize they're already moving exactly how he wants. He lowers his voice, almost gentle. Glory thinks they're setting a trap, but every step they take is guided by fear, greed, and bad intel. From the moment they decided to hunt him, they stopped being hunters. Pietro straightens up, gaze cold again. In his mind, the conclusion is already clear. They aren't planning to capture Pietro. They're just lining themselves up to die. She leans back on the sofa, calm, almost lazy, stating the rule like it's common sense. To be glory's killer, you have to come from the honor orphanage. No exceptions. The contrast hits hard. Old Pietro, worn down and broken by time, versus the current Pietro, standing straight and sharp. Same soul, different existence. She makes it clear. The past version qualified. This one doesn't. Her conclusion lands cold. Right now, he's just an outsider. No matter how dangerous he is, no matter what he's done before, he can't become glory's killer yet. Pietro's smile deepens. He already made up his mind. If there's only one path left, Then he'll walk it without hesitation. The scene cuts to the school building. Clean, bright, peaceful on the surface. A place no one would ever associate with killers, blood, or the Glory Club shadow. Inside, girls whisper and giggle, noticing the change in the air. Makeup, confidence, smiles. Everything looks normal. But this is exactly where it starts. The calm before Pietro steps into the storm. Kim Soon-gul sits back like he owns the place, sunlight hitting his face just right. He ignores the whispers, the stares, the jealousy. Inside, his thoughts are calm. This school is the gate. First step done. Girls keep sneaking looks, boys grind their teeth. They talk about his looks, his skin, his name. None of them realize what he really is. To them, he's just a transfer student. To Glory, he's bait walking straight into the trap. Soon-gul's eyes sharpen for a second. Divine Honor High School. The orphanage's shadow, the Glory Club's roots. He came here to enroll. He stayed to hunt. Soon-gul walks down the hallway like he owns the place. Calm face, steady steps, hands in his pockets. Around him, students keep sneaking looks, whispering nonstop. New kid energy, but it's quiet and dangerous. Up ahead, teachers and staff glance over. The Glory emblem on his uniform stands out. From the outside, it's just a fancy school, but underneath, this place decides who lives clean and who gets buried. Soon-gul lifts his eyes slightly, scanning the building. In his head, one thought settles in. This is where it starts. And I'm not here to learn the basics. I already know how this place works. The rules, the hierarchy, the way they turn kids into tools and then erase them when they're done. This school isn't training killers. It's sorting them, watching who breaks first, who adapts, and who can kill without blinking. And this time, I'm not one of the pieces on their board. I'm enrolling to tear the whole thing apart from the inside. Soon-gul walks straight through the hallway like he owns the place. Killer class, elite students, hidden rules. None of it shows on his face. Calm, empty, like he's already memorized how this school kills people. Surrounded by chatter, smiles, and fake curiosity, he answers without missing a beat. Normal. That single word shuts it down. No curiosity, no emotion, just a mask, so clean it scares even the ones flirting with him. As the banner for awards and performances flashes overhead, Soon-gul's eyes stay forward. This isn't a school to him. It's a hunting ground. And this time, he's not the prey. Pietro scans the hall in silence, eyes cold. Killer class. Honor orphanage only. The rule repeats in his mind like a bad joke. A faint smile curls on his lips. There's only one way. This kind of exception barely happens. The rules don't bend for talent or lineage. They bend only when someone forces the people in charge to look twice. To be seen as more than a number, you have to stand out in a way they can't ignore. As Soon-gul steps deeper into the hall, whispers ripple through the crowd. Eyes follow him. Teachers pause. Even the staff from the Glory Foundation side glance over, sensing something off. He isn't performing yet, but the air around him already feels different. Back at the apartment, Sunbae stiffens, hand half covering her mouth. Her instincts scream trouble. Yeah, she mutters, eyes widening. At that moment, she understands it clearly. He's not trying to slip into the killer class quietly. He's planning to walk straight into their spotlight and make them choose him. The hall falls silent. Kim Soon-gul's name echoes, and every eye locks onto the stage. This isn't confidence. This is someone deliberately stepping into a cage. Whispers explode through the crowd. Teachers hesitate, staff panic, and the killer class students feel it instantly. He didn't sneak in. He announced himself. Soon-gul grips the mic, calm and composed. Good. Now they've seen me. From the shadows of the Glory Foundation, attention finally turns toward him. The room freezes. Kim Soon-gul grips the podium, eyes steady, voice calm but sharp. He doesn't raise his tone, doesn't explain, doesn't joke. He just lets the words sink in, like a blade pressed lightly against the throat. This isn't a confession. It's a declaration. Shock ripples through the crowd. Whispers explode. Teachers stiffen. Students stare like they're watching a live grenade roll across the floor. Some laugh nervously, thinking it's a stunt. Others feel in their gut. This isn't normal confidence. This is certainty. From a back, Sunbae's breath catches. Her instincts scream. That pressure, that presence, it's real. Too real. Kim Sung-gu lowers his head slightly, a faint smile forming. This was never about introductions. This was him knocking on the door of the killer class. The mood flips instantly. The air tightens, like everyone just realized this wasn't a joke. Hidden eyes lock onto him from above, from behind the glass, from places no normal student should be watching. Down below, the masked figures move. No hesitation, no shock, just interest. Weapons shift in their grips, red eyes narrowing as they finally get what they came for. And while the crowd is still frozen in disbelief, he smiles to himself. Because now they're watching. And once the Glory Club notices you, there's no turning back. The room completely freezes. Teachers, students, everyone is stuck on that one word. Killer. You can feel the fear spread instantly, whispers turning sharp and nervous as people start backing away without even realizing it. Sunbi's eyes go wide behind her glasses, her hand flying to her mouth. Even the dog stiffens, ears straight up, sensing danger. Her voice cracks as she blurts out how insane this looks, calling him a crazy old man who's about to ruin everything in front of the whole school. Back on the stage, Sung-gu straightens slowly. Calm. Too calm. His gaze sharpens, as if he just remembered something important, and with a faint smile forming, he drops a final line that makes the air feel even heavier. Security finally reacts. Teachers rush the stage, guards shove through the crowd, everyone yelling at once. Phones are already up. The room is chaos, but Sung-gu doesn't flinch. He just steps back from the mic, calm like this was always the plan. Up above, hidden behind the glass, figures with black masks and glowing red eyes lock onto him. One of them tilts their head, interested. Another smirks and says this kid's either insane or exactly what they've been waiting for. Sung-gu glances toward the ceiling, just for a second, like he knows he's being watched. A faint smile forms. Good. You noticed. The moment that word leaves his mouth, the air changes. The laughter around the gym dies out, and every eye locks onto Sung-gu. The circle tightens without anyone even realizing it. Predators don't rush. They test. Sung-gu lifts his head slowly, calm, almost bored. His eyes flick across the group once, measuring distance, weight, breathing. He already knows who will swing first, who will hesitate, and who's just here to watch. A faint smile tugs at his lips. Good. They took the bait exactly like he planned. The guy keeps ranting, chest puffed out, acting like he owns the room. He brags about Yizio like she's some trophy, loud enough for everyone to hear, clearly trying to humiliate Sung-gu and turn the crowd against him. You can feel it. This isn't about jealousy anymore. It's about control. Sung-gu doesn't react. No anger. No excuses. He just looks at him calmly, eyes cold, like he's already measured the distance, the weight, the outcome. The noise around them fades. The whispers stop. Even the bullies hesitate, realizing too late that they're not dealing with a normal transfer student. Inside his head, Sung-gu confirms it. This is perfect. The attention is locked on him. The stage is set. If the Glory Foundation is watching, they'll remember this moment. This is exactly how a killer gets noticed. The punch never lands. Pietro tilts his head just enough, the fist cutting air instead of flesh. Everyone freezes for half a second. That's when it hits them. The gap between anger and death is way smaller than they thought. Pietro grabs the wrist mid-swing and twists. Bone pops. The big guy screams as his body drops to one knee like his legs forgot how to work. Pietro leans in, voice calm, almost polite. This isn't revenge. This is introduction. He lets go. The guy collapses. Blood on the floor. Silence everywhere. Students staring. Phone shaking. And Pietro thinks to himself, real simple. Good. Now they're watching. The punch cuts through the air, heavy and fast. The kind that's ended street fights before they even started. Everyone expects Sung-gu to get crushed. But Pietro slips inside the swing at the last second. Low stance. No wasted movement. His shoulder crashes into Jang Yiziel's center of gravity, killing the power behind the blow. For the first time in his life, Jang Yiziel's eyes widen. Not from pain, from realization. The punch lands. Clean. Brutal. Jang Yizil's vision explodes in white as his body goes stiff for a split second, the kind of second that decides life or death. But Pietro's fist stops, just short, inches from cracking his skull open. The air trembles, the floor creaks, and everyone watching feels it. That wasn't hesitation. That was control. Pietro pulls back calmly, eyes cold, voice steady. This isn't revenge yet. Around them, the room finally understands one thing clearly. He could have killed him, and that's exactly why this is terrifying. The teacher rushes in waving the red card, shouting about rules and sacred grounds, but the room already feels wrong. Everyone's staring at the fat guy on the floor, shaking, eyes unfocused, like his instincts just got crushed. Pietro turns slowly. Calm. Too calm. He looks at the teacher, then at Yizil, then back at the crowd. The noise fades because something about his presence says this isn't over, it's just starting. Inside his head, the conclusion locks in. They noticed him. The killer class definitely noticed him. The teacher freezes for half a second after that answer. His grip loosens without him realizing it. The room goes dead quiet. That wasn't bravado. That wasn't a joke. The way Sungu said it felt final. Students whisper. Some look confused, some scared, some weirdly excited. The bullies hesitate instead of charging in again. For the first time, they're not sure if they're dealing with a transfer student or something much worse. Sungu straightens his jacket, eyes calm, voice low. I'm not here to cause trouble. Then he takes a step forward. I'm here to finish it. Kim Sungu walks behind the teacher, hands in his pockets, expression calm. Inner thought. They're watching. Good. Let them watch. Behind him, whispers spread among the students. Eyes follows back. Inner thought. Curiosity turns into reports. Reports turn into tests. And tests. A faint smile forms. Are how killers recognize each other. Sungu glances sideways, red eyes half-lidded, cold and sharp. Inner thought. Come find out who I really am. I'm ready. The girl's breath catches as her eyes widen. No way. Her fingers tremble near her lips. He's not here to fit in. Outside, the massive school building stands tall under the blue sky. Her thoughts sharpen, fear turning into certainty. If he keeps going like this whole place is going to be dragged into hell. Inside the halls, students whisper as a calm, unreadable figure walks forward. His steps are steady. His gaze doesn't waver. He didn't come to destroy the school. He came to tear out what's rotting inside it. Yunbil lowers the apple slightly, her eyes narrowing as she studies him more closely. You say that, but... She pauses, noticing his untouched lunch tray and the faint tension in his posture. You don't look like someone who just lost their appetite. Sunga leans back on the bench, gaze drifting toward the school building. People stare, whisper, follow. A small, unreadable smile forms. I figured it'd be quieter out here. Yunbil sits properly beside him, clutching the apple to her chest. You're that transfer student, right? After a beat, she adds softly, the one everyone's talking about. She bites into the apple, eyes half-lidded, voice calm but sharp. If you stay close to me, people die faster. Sungu turns his head slightly, sunlight cutting across his face. No panic, no hesitation. Living quietly was never an option for me anyway. A faint smile curves her lips as she looks forward. Good. Then don't regret sitting here. Rias's eyes narrow slightly, her grip on the apple tightening. So you didn't come looking for me. A pause. Then that means I was never your goal. The man straightens, the playful calm draining from his face. His shadow stretches long across the tiled floor. I came because something moved, something that shouldn't exist. His gaze locks on her, and now it's sitting right in front of me. Close up on Rias's lips curling into a faint, dangerous smile. Then you already know. Her eyes harden. If you're here, it means the game has started. Yunbil stiffens, fingers tightening around the apple. Her eyes sharpen, suspicion cutting through the casual tone. Then explain it, she says quietly. If you didn't come for me, why do you keep showing up? Sungu looks away, gaze drifting to the ground, voice flat and controlled. Because you're already inside their net. You just don't realize it yet. A beat. And once they finish watching you, they won't let you walk away. Yunbil exhales slowly, biting into the apple. Crunch. So that's it, she mutters. You're not here to kill me. Her eyes lift, locking onto his. You're here to see whether I survive. Yunbil looks straight at him, serious. You really don't understand this place. One wrong move, and you disappear. Sungu turns his head slightly, eyes calm, almost bored. Then let them come. I didn't step in to stay safe. Yunbil clenches her tray, watching his back as he walks away. This school is going to get bloody. He leans in just enough for his voice to drop, calm but heavy. He says he's counting on her, like it's already decided. She freezes when he corrects her. Not Yunbil, Li Yuna. Hearing her real name hits harder than any threat. Her eyes widen. He knows too much. She turns away without another word, walking off with the tray still in her hands. The bench is left empty behind her, sunlight flickering through the trees. And for the first time, she realizes this transfer student isn't just dangerous. He's already inside her life. The track explodes with noise as Jonathan rockets forward, every step clean and perfect. Teachers are already standing. Students are screaming. Phones are up. This is his race, his stage, his win. From the sidelines, Sungu watches calmly, hands in his pockets. No expression, no reaction, just quiet certainty. This isn't an accident. This is the moment Jonathan's record ends. The gun fires. The number flips. Second place locks in. The entire track goes silent because everyone just realized the impossible happened. Jonathan collapses behind him, lungs burning, pride shattered. Teachers freeze. Students stare. Whispers explode, all at once. The transfer student didn't just win. He erased a legend. Pietro doesn't look back. He walks past the crowd like this was always guaranteed. In his head, the count continues. 2 down. The school is already watching. The room keeps buzzing, people half standing, half yelling, eyes glued to the transfer student like he just broke reality. He sits there calm, leg crossed, watching the chaos like it's background noise. On the table, the sliced fruit sits perfectly plated. Clean cuts. Sharp angles. Way too precise for a normal class. The lesson keeps going, but everyone knows this isn't about cooking anymore. He looks up slowly, voice steady, cutting through the chatter. Pay attention. And just like that, the room goes quiet. The room goes dead silent. Everyone freezes as the apple turns into a perfectly carved rabbit, still standing on the plate. Even the teacher stares, brain lagging, like reality just skipped a frame. Sunga casually lowers the knife, calm and serious, like this is normal. The rabbit-shaped apple twitches slightly, looking way too alive, and the class collectively panics. Whispers explode everywhere. People realize this isn't talent or luck anymore. This guy isn't just dangerous in fights. He's dangerous at everything. The handle digs into his clothes. The guy smirks, cigarette hanging loose, waiting for fear to show. Sunga doesn't flinch. He grips the handle instead and steps in ice cold. Then don't clean. In a blink, the bully is slammed to the floor, breath knocked out, everyone around frozen in shock. Sungu stands over him, calm and certain. The teacher keeps yelling, trying to pull rank, acting like his voice still matters here. He talks about authority, rules, penalties, anything he can grab on to stay on top. But nobody's listening anymore. The crowd's already decided who looks pathetic. A phone comes up right in his face. His own image stares back at him on the screen, recorded, zoomed in, ugly and undeniable. The threat flips instantly. Teacher license. Abuse charges. Evidence. The laughter around him isn't nervous anymore. It's sharp. He snaps, pointing and screaming about respect and authority, but it's empty now. The words fall flat. In this place, power isn't about titles, and everyone watching knows it. The teacher slams into the ground, stunned and shaking. His threats die in his throat as he realizes no one is backing him anymore. Phones are pointed straight at his face. One student grins and says the video's already saved. Lawsuits, authority, punishment. None of it matters now. Sungu turns away without a word. Behind him, the whispers change. This wasn't a fight. It was an audition. Sunga doesn't answer. He just sets the blue bin down, straightens his tie, and looks at them like they're wasting his time. No anger, no fear, just quiet pressure. The guys keep laughing, stepping closer, still running their mouths. One of them reaches out like he's testing a boundary, thinking this is still a joke, still their territory. Sunga finally speaks, calm and flat. Then don't move. And for the first time, the laughter dies. The punch comes in wild and sloppy, all rage, no control. He's screaming as he swings, veins popping, convinced this is where he wins it back. Sunga doesn't flinch. His eyes stay dead calm as he shifts his body just enough. The fist passes by his face like it never mattered. Before anyone can process it, Sunga's counter lands clean and brutal. One strike. No hesitation. The sound echoes, and everyone watching realizes too late. This wasn't a fight. It was a warning. The guy swings again, wide and sloppy, but Sunga slips past it like he's already seen this punch 100 times. His eyes go cold, pupils locked in, body moving before the fist even finishes its arc. The laughter dies. The crowd freezes as Sunga steps inside the guy's guard, shoulder brushing past him. No wasted motion. No hesitation. Just pressure. The guy's balance snaps, feet skidding, confidence cracking in real time. That's when everyone feels it. Not fear. Not anger. Something worse. The sudden, quiet certainty that this isn't a school fight anymore, and that they've been mocking the wrong person from the start. The brick freezes midair. His arm locks up like his body just forgot how to move. His pupils shake, breath stuck in his throat. For the first time, fear hits before pain. Sunga turns his head slightly. Not rushed. Not tense. Just calm. Too calm. His eyes glow faintly as the world around him feels slower, heavier, wrong. The brick drops from his hand and cracks on the ground. His knees buckle. He doesn't understand why his body won't listen anymore. He stands there calmly, coffee still in hand, while the three of them are on their knees, screaming about justice and victory like they actually did something. His eyes don't even linger on them. To him, it's already over. The crowd slowly realizes what just happened. No flashy moves. No rage. No effort. Just clean, precise violence that ended everything in seconds. The laughter dies. Phone stop recording. Fear quietly replaces hype. He turns away without another word. Walking off like this was just another chore. Behind him, they're still frozen in disbelief, finally understanding one thing clearly. This wasn't a fight. It was a warning. Sunga doesn't answer right away. He looks at the phone, then at the teacher on the ground. His face is calm, almost blank, like he's already done the math in his head. He taps the screen once. The video pauses on the teacher mid-rage, finger raised, face twisted. The silence feels heavier than the shouting from before. Sunga speaks quietly. Not really. He slips the phone into his pocket and turns away, already done with the scene, leaving the teacher staring at his own reflection on the cracked screen.
The teacher swings again, smiling like he's already won. He's talking about instincts, about how he can tell who's dangerous just by looking. In his head, this kid is finally slipping. Sunga stays low, calm. His eyes don't panic. They calculate. He answers quietly, saying that being not normal isn't an insult. It's just a fact. And facts don't change, no matter who's judging. Before the teacher can react, Sunga moves. Not reckless. Not flashy. Just precise. The smile on the teacher's face freezes as he realizes something's wrong. Very wrong. Sunga doesn't answer right away. He just looks at the cup in the man's hand, then lifts his eyes slowly. His voice is flat, almost bored. I learned it because spilling means you're dead. The man pauses. His smile fades a little, interest sharpening in his eyes. So, you learned it to survive? Sunga nods once. When you grow up somewhere you can't afford mistakes, balance becomes instinct. Sungu turns away, hands in his pockets, already walking. I didn't learn it to fight. He stops for half a second, glancing back over his shoulder. I learned it so I wouldn't die. The air goes dead silent. His hands shake, but his eyes don't. That anger isn't loud or messy anymore. It's settled, focused, like he finally found a reason to stand instead of just survive. The man across from him smiles faintly, not surprised at all. He's been waiting for that answer. Revenge. That word alone explains everything about how this kid moves, fights, and stays calm when everyone else panics. The thought sinks in hard. This school, the glory system, the killers they raise in secret. If revenge is the goal, then this place isn't an obstacle. It's the battlefield. The teacher finally understands what kind of student is standing in front of him. Not a delinquent. Not a hothead. Someone who already lost everything and has nothing left to protect. Kim Sung-gu says his name clearly, like he's drawing a line. If he's already dead inside, then fear doesn't work anymore. Threats don't work either. The teacher exhales slowly. This isn't a kid asking for help. This is someone declaring war. The man lowers the cup slowly, eyes sharp, like he's been waiting for this answer his whole life. He doesn't sound excited or angry, just certain. This isn't a question. It's a confirmation. Sung-gu smiles faintly. Not relief. Not pride. More like the moment a trap finally closes. He says he's been waiting too. Waiting for someone to say the quiet part out loud. The air shifts. This isn't about volunteering anymore. This is recruitment. Glory didn't find Sung-gu by accident. And the killer class just found its next instructor. Sung-gu stands there in shock, realizing divine honor high isn't just hiding secrets. It's openly cultivating killers under a harmless name, like it's part of the curriculum. The teacher explains it plainly. A few selected students are taught how to survive, hunt, and erase others. Not heroes. Not vigilantes. Killers shaped for glory. They walk down the dark hallway together. Every step feels heavier as the teacher tells him it won't be easy and that turning back was never an option. A cold object is placed in Sung-gu's hand. His eyes widen under the harsh light as he understands the truth. This is the volunteering club. The place where glory killers are fostered.
Sung-gu is looking around the room like, wait, this is the legendary killer training ground. Because all he sees are kids chilling, reading snacks, and minding their own business. Nothing about this place screams deadly. He keeps watching quietly, but the more he looks, the less it makes sense. These people don't look ruthless at all. If anything, they seem normal. Way too normal for what he was told. Then the teacher steps up front and tells everyone to focus. The room settles down, and right there, Sung-gu realizes it. Normal faces or not, this is the place. The real start of everything. The teacher announces the new volunteer, and the girl freezes the second she sees him. Her mind is screaming already. Why is that guy here? Of all places, Sung-gu glances over calmly, like it's nothing. But the girl is panicking inside, begging him with her eyes. Please don't recognize me. Please don't say anything. I just want to survive this quietly. He looks at her for half a second, and her soul basically leaves her body. She swallows hard, convinced she's done for. She's still overthinking the wink like it was a death signal. Meanwhile, he just walks past her all calm and unbothered. Her brain is going full panic mode while he acts like nothing even happened. Sung-gu finally introduces himself to the class with that polite smile. Thanking everyone like this is a normal volunteer club and not a low-key assassin boot camp. But inside, he's not buying it at all. He's already thinking this warm welcome is total nonsense, and he knows exactly how dangerous this place really is. So the two bulky guys step up like they own the place, staring Sung-gu down. They don't even bother remembering his name, just talking trash like he doesn't belong here. Then they start complaining that only kids from the honor orphanage are supposed to be in this club, acting like Sung-gu broke some sacred rule. They even introduce themselves like mini-bosses, flexing their special traits. Meanwhile, Sung-gu just calmly drops the bomb in his head. Yeah, he's also from the honor orphanage. First generation. And suddenly, everything makes way more sense than they realize. The teacher says they'll just keep it simple and have a small welcoming party for the new guy, like it's totally normal. A couple of classmates happily suggest making some punch for everyone, acting all sweet and innocent. But then their smiles turn creepy. They pull out knives and joke about blood punch, showing just how twisted this so-called club really is. One of the buff guys calls Sung-gu over like he owns the place. He's standing there all serious, saying they should be the ones giving the welcome, like this is some kind of initiation. He and his crew close in, clearly ready to test the new guy. Everyone else around them is tense, like they know this is about to go sideways real fast. The girl steps in between them, try to calm things down. She's warning them with this shaky voice, basically saying if they keep pushing him, they might actually end up dead. The musclehead steps in, telling Yuna to move unless she wants to get wrecked too. She backs off with a sigh, thinking she really tried to warn them. Meanwhile, Sungu just stands there, calm as ever, like this is no big deal. The two bulky guys size him up, calling him new kid like they're picking teams at recess. They ask if he can even fight, acting all smug, like they already know the answer. Sunga looks at them with the straightest face ever and goes, "Ya bit." Like 1,500 times. The room goes quiet. They have no idea what kind of monster they just challenged. So the two muscleheads charge straight at him like this is the final boss fight of their lives. One's swinging a fist, the other's diving in from the side, and everyone watching is already convinced the new guy's dead meat. But Sungu just stands there calm as ever, like he's waiting for a bus, not a beatdown. At the very last second, he tilts his head and raises his arm, blocking both punches at once like it's nothing. No panic, no shock, just bored precision. And right then, everyone realizes it. They weren't hunting him. They just walked straight into the lion's den. The two guys finally snap and start yelling while grappling with Sungu. One of them loses it completely, ranting about how this club isn't for random street trash. He says people like Sungu don't get what they go through, how every day they're risking their lives for one goal. The bigger guy leans in with this creepy, obsessed look. He says their dream is to become the best killer in the world. And the way he says it, you can tell he idolizes someone like there's already a number one they're chasing. Sunga pauses for a second, confused. Best killer? Like who? Who are they talking about? The tension spikes as that giant statue looms above them, and the guy snarls that name like it's sacred. Disciple Pietro. Yeah, these dudes aren't just wannabes. They worship killers. He shoves forward, glaring right into Sunga's eyes, veins popping. He spits out that there's no room here for some privileged kid who walked in on connections alone. To them, this place is life or death training, not a playground. And then it happens. Both sides step in at the same time. No hesitation, no fear, just raw intent crashing together in the middle of the room as the fight officially begins. So the two muscleheads rush him like they're about to end his whole career, and he just blocks them like it's nothing. Both punches, same time, one hand each, and he doesn't even look stressed. They keep swinging, getting more desperate, but he's still calm. Then he sighs like he's bored in class and says he's getting tired of this already. Now he actually takes a stance, and the vibe changes. He tells them to stop tag-teaming their lines and just come at him together. Full confidence, no hesitation. And the two guys? Yeah, they realize real quick they might have picked the wrong dude to mess with. They're shocked, angry, and low-key terrified because this isn't the reaction they expected at all. Both of them rush in together, swinging with everything they've got, like their entire life depends on this one hit. You can tell they're putting all 18 years of blood, sweat, and trauma into it. But Sungu just charges forward calmly, like this is nothing new. In his head, he's basically like, 18 years? Cute. I've been through 65. And yeah, he's dead serious. One of the students watching just blurts it out. Even they can't deny it. 65 years of grind? That's kinda insane. Everyone starts hyping up the Dako brothers like they're celebrities. They're sweating and acting humble, but you can tell they're proud of themselves for beating the new kid. Meanwhile, the others are clapping and laughing like it was some big show. They really think Kim Sungu ran off because he was scared and couldn't handle it. But as things calm down and the room empties out, the hallway outside is quiet, and it feels like something is still unfinished. As Kim Sungu heads down the quiet hallway, someone calls out from behind. He stops. It's Lee Yuna, arms crossed, staring right at him like she's already figured him out. She walks up slowly and asks if he's seriously underestimating the volunteer club. He tries to brush it off, acting clueless, but she doesn't buy it for a second. Yuna tells him she'd been watching him the whole time earlier, and not once did he look scared. Not of the fight, not of the brothers. Nothing. It's like he knew he'd never lose. As the dust settles, both Dako brothers hit the ground hard, completely stunned. They never even saw the strike coming. Kim Sung-gu just stands there, calm as ever, lowering his fist like it was nothing. Leona stares at him, wide-eyed. Did you put any strength into your fist at all? Sung-gu blinks, confused. Huh, I always do my best. She steps closer, clearly annoyed. You're lying. I have proof. The twins charge and like they've finally snapped, all that pent-up pride bursting out at once. Sung-gu doesn't even flinch. One clean step, one clean swing, and both of them are sent flying like they got hit by a truck. While they're crashing across the room, he calmly lowers his fist like it was nothing. Yuna watches him, eyes narrowing. That wasn't desperation. That wasn't luck. He didn't even look serious. So when he shrugs and says he always does his best, she calls him out right away. There's no way that was full power, and she's got proof. She slams him against the wall, eyes blazing. She's demanding answers now. No way he's slipping out of this. Why is he hiding his strength? Why come to the school of all places? He leans in closer, calm as ever, like her anger barely reaches him. She thinks he's scheming, and honestly, she's not wrong to wonder. He asks if she really wants the truth. There's a pause. The tension hangs in the air. Then he finally opens his mouth to answer, but whatever he's about to say, it's definitely not simple. She leans in close, totally fired up, demanding to know why he'd hide skills like that. If he's this strong, why bother pretending to be weak? He stays calm and asks if she really wants the truth, staring right back at her like he's about to drop something serious. But instead, he just slides out from under her arm and walks off, saying it's lunchtime, even though it's literally midnight. She's left standing there, totally stunned, while he disappears like nothing happened. First, the bus driver is all chill, sipping his drink and humming like life's perfect. He's bragging about how he'll be back when the sun rises, clearly thinking today's an easy payday. Then he starts hopping around, all giddy because he got paid $1,000,000 just to rent out the bus. Dude's literally celebrating like he won the lottery, completely unaware of what he's actually gotten himself into. But suddenly, he stops. His smile freezes. He remembers something. Wait, wasn't this supposed to be a group job? Why is the bus completely empty right now? The driver is confused, like, why is there only one dude standing there when this was supposed to be a whole group booking? The guy smiles politely and explains it's just him. Super calm. But then he casually adds that there's a tiny detail. The camera zooms out, and it turns out this one guy brought an entire army of suitcases with him, like enough luggage for a tour group. The driver is absolutely stunned. So while the driver's busy grumbling about how many bags there are, the suited guy calmly stops him and places his hand on the luggage. His whole vibe changes, like he's about to make things interesting. The driver freezes, confused, because this polite dude suddenly asks if he wants to make a bet, like this is all some kind of game. And you could just tell whatever's inside those bags is not normal. That guy leans in way too close and whispers like he's sharing some huge secret. He tells the driver to guess what's inside all those suitcases, and the vibe turns creepy real fast. Now they're already on the road. The bus is cutting through the highway in the middle of the night, headlights slicing through the darkness. It's dead quiet, which somehow makes it worse. The driver keeps glancing at the mirror, uneasy. That strange guy is just sitting there calmly behind him, like nothing's wrong. And the driver mutters to himself that he never even agreed to the bet in the first place. But now it feels like he's stuck in it whether he wants to be or not. He sits there all calm and collected, like nothing in the world could bother him. Meanwhile, the driver keeps glancing back, replaying that moment in his head, convinced he didn't imagine it. He grips the wheel tighter, heart racing as he remembers it clearly. That suitcase. It was definitely moving on its own. The room goes quiet as the announcement drops. A new quest means big stakes, and everyone knows it. The speaker explains that the request came straight from Choi Yun-chong, the chairman of Deha Group. Just hearing that name is enough to make people straighten up. This isn't some small errand. This is next-level serious. He then tells them the reward. Whichever team succeeds will earn an official volunteer certificate, personally backed by the chairman himself. And with that kind of recommendation, their futures basically open up overnight. Now everyone's thinking the same thing. They have to win this. First, the tension in the room spikes. Everyone holds their breath as the announcement drops. If they succeed, they won't just be students anymore. They'll officially be killers. And yeah, that hits way harder than anyone expected. Then someone yells from the crowd, demanding to know what the quest even is. The teacher pauses for a second, scans the room, and finally answers. Every eye in that hall is locked on him now. And then he says it. The mission is recapturing something. No one knows what yet, but you can already tell this isn't going to be simple. The room goes quiet when he drops the real reason. Teenagers keep getting kidnapped, and one of them just happens to be the only son of that mega-rich chairman. Everyone freezes. So now it makes sense why this mission suddenly matters. One girl raises her hand like it's a normal class question and goes, "Wait, so we're supposed to rescue the son? Why not just call the cops?" And honestly, everyone else is thinking the same thing. He holds up the photo, showing the son tied up and beaten, and the whole room goes quiet for a second. Then he explains it straight. The chairman doesn't just want his kid back. He wants payback for what they did. She keeps it simple. If they rescue the chairman's only son, that's all it takes to pass. Then she tells everyone to raise their hands if they're in. The room turns noisy. Some students pressure the others, saying this is their only chance to become official killers early. If they don't accept the quest, they'll be stuck here for another 2 years. But a few students aren't convinced. They whisper that this job feels too big for trainees. Normally, adults would handle something like this. So why dub it on them? Something about it doesn't add up. One of the seniors just shrugs with zero guilt and steps on the kid's head like it's nothing, saying he doesn't care what happens to the rest of them. He's out. Then the Daco brothers casually step up like it's already decided. They're confident as ever, saying no one else would dare take this mission but them. But the younger brother suddenly smirks. He says he doesn't think they're the only ones planning to jump in, because he definitely saw someone else raise their hand too. The room goes quiet for a second. Then the Daco brothers smirk and point out that even the Nepo baby and the so-called loser are volunteering too. Both of them raise their hands without hesitation. She yells that she called it first, accusing him of copying her. He calmly replies that his hand was already up from the beginning, while she threatens him in frustration. He just asks her not to say anything so terrifying. Everyone turns back toward the briefing. The instructor says they're already set for the mission and explains that the job is simple in theory. Track the kidnappers down and crush them. The room fills with tense anticipation as the real work is about to begin. The instructor shuts everyone up with a single word and says they won't be charging him blindly. There are steps they need to take first. Meanwhile, the MC thinks to himself that this is finally his chance. Ever since he entered this insane school, he's been waiting for a real mission like this. Then we cut straight to the mission site, which turns out to be an amusement park. Crowds, neon lights, snacks in hand, and the MC and the girl are dressed casually, acting like a couple on a date. The parade music blasts and the dancers hit the street like it's Rio Carnival. Everyone's losing their minds cheering, totally hyped for the show. One guy in the crowd is yelling like his soul left his body. Meanwhile, the dancer just smiles and keeps vibing like this is all totally normal. The Daco brothers just stand there, looking completely confused. They're staring at the dancers like they're trying to solve a math problem. Why bikinis? At an amusement park? How is this fun? Yeah, culture shock hit them hard. She's trying to play it cool, but honestly, she has no idea what she's supposed to be doing here. This whole undercover and amusement park thing just feels awkward. Meanwhile, the guys are suddenly getting swarmed by random girls asking for his number, and he's completely clueless about what's going on. She just watches like, yeah, this is already getting weird. Then we cut back to the briefing room, where the teacher explains it clearly. This is the exact amusement park where Chairman Choi Yun-chang's son was kidnapped. So their mission starts right here, in the middle of all this chaos. The briefing ends with a clear mission: secure the hostage and take down the kidnapper. But even with all that info on the screen, it still feels vague. She flips through the map, realizing the only real clue is that the kid was last seen inside Palin World. With a place this huge, he could be anywhere, or worse. Her eyes drift toward him. Even in the middle of all this chaos and uncertainty, she wonders if he already has a plan in mind, or if he's just walking forward without hesitation like always. She watches him calmly take the lead again and can't shake the feeling that he already has the whole situation mapped out in his head. While she's worrying, he just points ahead and tells her they should start by checking that spot first. But when they get there, the staff member apologizes with a smile. He explains that this ride is reservation only and politely asks them to leave if they understand. He's being extra sweet about it, which somehow makes it even more annoying. The twins completely lose it. They can't believe you actually need to book a roller coaster ride. The employee tells them to DM the park account if they want to complain, which confuses them even more. Meanwhile, people passing by laugh, assuming it's their first ever trip to an amusement park. He keeps a straight face and tells them to just download the app, saying it'll make everything easier. Even though he sounds casual, it feels like he already knows how everything here works. Yuna checks the app and realizes all the major rides are fully booked. The others start nagging her, wondering if she even remembers they're on a mission and not a date. She looks annoyed, but also a bit embarrassed. Meanwhile, the two muscleheads are already fooling around on a kid's ride, yelling like they're having the time of their lives, totally forgetting why they came here in the first place. The two muscleheads are going absolutely feral on the bumper cars, yelling out racer names like they're in some world championship. Kids nearby are traumatized, completely justified. Yuna just sighs, already done with their energy levels. She can barely hear herself think. They move on to a shooting booth, where the owner happily explains that it's super easy. So easy that apparently he's losing money. Yuna isn't buying it. She asks if at least the prize is food. The guy tells them to just give it a try, and the chaos continues. The game stall owner is laughing to himself, thinking these students are easy money. He smugly admits he rigged the dolls by stuffing them so they're impossible to knock down. Yuna picks up the rifle and pretends she's clueless, acting like she's never used one before. The owner keeps grinning, telling her to try as much as she wants because he's sure she'll fail. Moments later, Yuna and the others walk away with massive stuffed dolls in their arms. The owner is stunned, kneeling there in disbelief, while Yuna thanks him politely as if nothing unusual happened. Soon after, the group splits a little as they walk through the park. One of the guys yells out with complete excitement, pointing toward the next ride. Another one is already stuffing his face again, so they shout at Lee Yuna to stop eating and keep up. Kim Sung-gu turns his head when he hears his name being called. The others are waving both arms like overexcited kids, balloons in hand, calling him over with big smiles. Watching them, he realizes just how hyped they are to be here. In his thoughts, Sung-gu reflects quietly. This is probably the first time these people have ever experienced an amusement park, and because of that, their excitement makes perfect sense. Sung-gu watches the others from a distance and thinks about their pasts. He realizes the guys probably grew up struggling just like he did, fighting to survive since they were kids. Looking at them now, laughing and enjoying simple things like snacks and balloons, he decides to just let them have fun today. If anyone deserves a break, it's them. Yuna smiles brightly, happier than she's been in a long time. And Sung-gu thinks to himself that none of them know when they'll get another chance to relax and laugh like this again, so they should hold on to this moment while it lasts. Yuna finally sneaks away from the group and collapses on a bench with a drink, exhausted. She sighs to herself, wondering why they're wasting time playing around when they're supposed to be rescuing someone. As she relaxes, she glances down at her phone and freezes. Something unexpected pops up on the screen, and her eyes widen in shock. Her phone shows a detected AirPods signal labeled Choi Young-jeol's AirPods. Yuna panics. That name belongs to the kidnapped son. If she's picking up his signal here, that means he has to be somewhere nearby. The image of the kidnapping flashes in her mind again. She tenses up, realizing the boy might actually be close by. Her eyes widen. Something isn't adding up. If the kidnappers are hiding him, then why is the AirPods signal still active? She follows the tracker and freezes. The signal is coming from the women's restroom. Yuna hesitates at the bathroom door, overthinking everything. Maybe someone else picked up the AirPods, or maybe it's just a coincidence. But what if it isn't? Should she really ask for backup or handle it herself? She decides to at least check first and quietly walks inside. Everything looks totally normal. Just another girl fixing her makeup at the mirror. But when Yuna checks the signal again, it spikes. Her eyes widen. There's no doubt about it now. The AirPod signal is coming from that girl. Yuna sneaks up behind the girl, trying to sound friendly, but she's super tense inside. She tells herself to keep it cool, keep it polite, and then she asks about the AirPods with the most suspicious smile ever. But the moment the girl turns around, she completely freaks out. To her, Yuna looks like some horror movie stalker who just whispered in her ear. She panics and screams for her boyfriend. Her boyfriend rushes in, shielding her like there's a real threat. The girl points at Yuna, swearing she tried to attack her, while Yuna just stands there frozen, realizing this is absolutely not how she planned things to go. The guy flips out immediately, yelling that she tried to steal from his girlfriend, acting like he just uncovered some criminal mastermind. Yuna tries to explain, but he's already labeled her a thief. He pushes forward, totally worked up, shouting at her like he's some hero defending his babe. Yuna backs up, still trying to calm things down, but he's not listening at all. Then he says it. He'll apologize, but only after roughing her up a bit. His hand swings toward her face. And Yuna? She doesn't flinch. Her expression goes cold. She's done playing nice. The guys finally realize Yuna's been gone a while, so they start looking around. One of them asks if anyone's seen her, but the calm reply is basically, relax. She's probably just off eating again. No one seems too stressed yet. When they ask Sungu if he's seen her, he says no, but he doesn't look the least bit worried. In fact, he straight up says there's no reason to panic, like he's 100% sure she's fine. And then we cut to Yuna, casually licking on a giant lollipop like nothing's happening, completely unfazed by the chaos she just caused. Out of nowhere, Lee Yuna flips the situation. The guy swings at her, but she uses his weight against him and launches herself upward like she trained for this. Everyone around freezes like, did she just dodge that midair? Before he can even react, she crashes back down and locks him into a chokehold from behind. His eyes go wide as he realizes she's not some random girl he can push around. Yeah, big mistake. Then she grabs the lollipop she was eating earlier and jams the stick straight into his ear. The dude completely panics, yelling in pain while she holds him still like it's nothing. And just like that, the tough guy act disappears. The guy freezes, eyes wide, because she just jammed the lollipop stick right into his ear without even thinking. She casually stares at it like, oops, did I really just do that? Now she's totally calm again, tugging on his ear while he's on the verge of tears, and the girlfriend looks terrified. Yuna doesn't even raise her voice. She just says, now talk. She pulls the girl close, locking eyes with her. The tension spikes instantly. Yuna asks, almost whispering, where did you get those AirPods? The girl stammers, panicking, realizing she can't lie her way out of this anymore. Sungu is calmly checking his phone, while everyone around him looks shocked, like they can already sense something serious is going on. He calls out to the others, saying he found something important. Now the group is gathered together. Sungu explains that the AirPods he found belonged to Choi Yunjeol, the kidnapped boy. He also says he figured out the exact spot where they were dropped, which means they're getting closer to the truth. Everyone else is stunned, trying to process what this means. Sungu realizes Yuna found the AirPods in the same area he'd been thinking about. It confirms his hunch that they're both narrowing in on the same clue. He pauses and starts piecing everything together. If the kidnappers grabbed the boy inside a crowded amusement park, they wouldn't risk someplace isolated. So he reasons it out. In a place full of noise, laughter, and sudden screams, kidnapping someone would look almost normal. The best spot to hide suspicious behavior is somewhere chaos already looks ordinary. He points at the phone screen and breaks it down for them. The ride's been booked out since morning, but somehow no one's actually gone inside, which means those reservations are fake on purpose. He spells it out in his head. If someone wanted to make people disappear without suspicion, they need a spot that's busy on paper but empty in reality. They all look toward the same place. The haunted house, the one nobody's entering. She's already marching ahead, saying that's definitely where the kidnapper is hiding. They step through the entrance and see clear signs of blood and a single footprint leading deeper inside. The fun atmosphere from earlier is gone. Now it feels real. The two big guys drop their playful attitude right away. Their expressions harden as they move in first, warning everyone to stay sharp and follow closely behind. They advance through the narrow hallway, lights flickering red around them. Yuna sticks tight behind Sungu while the others form a loose formation, half arguing but still staying together as they push deeper into the haunted house, knowing this isn't just an attraction anymore. Sungu suddenly realizes something is seriously off. The place should be crowded, but all he hears are their footsteps. That uneasy silence settles in, and he starts scanning everything with a sharp look. He looks down the hallway, and it finally hits him. Bloodstains, broken props, doors half open, but no staff, no guests, not a single scream. In a haunted house, the scariest part is that it's completely empty. Yuna steps closer, her voice low but confident. She's already pieced it together. She warns the others to get ready, because this isn't an attraction anymore. Something real is waiting ahead. The fog creeps in across the floor as the four of them move deeper inside. The air shifts, and it finally feels real. The mission isn't some casual side quest anymore. This is where it begins. One of the guys starts panicking, swearing under his breath, and asking if they're actually going to make it out okay. Another tries to calm him down, saying they're already halfway through anyway, so there's no point backing out now. But the real question hits all of them at once. Why does this place feel wrong? Why is everything set up like a trap waiting to close in on them? The commander lays it out cold. The real goal isn't just to find the hostage or catch the kidnapper. To even get close, they first need to earn the kidnapper's trust. And that means one thing from the very beginning. Sunga's still half conscious on the ground, but his eyes crack open just a little. He spots a blurry figure walking past him and instantly realizes something's not right. That same figure steps forward through the fog, calm, collected, like he owns the whole situation. He's not running. He's not panicking. He's just taking the hostage and leaving. Then suddenly, someone yells from behind with everything they've got. Stop! The sound cuts through the silence of the haunted house, echoing down the hallway as the door swings open. The instructor bursts into the room, totally panicked, demanding to know what's happening with the kids. The other guy calmly explains that they're probably still in the middle of their mission, but the instructor cuts him off and orders him to call them. Right now, he tries calling, but no one is answering. The worry starts to spread. He asks what's really going on here, and the instructor finally admits it. This wasn't some small-time assignment. He reveals the name of the man involved, Park Sang-do, and hearing that name instantly shocks the other guy. That Park Sang-do, the kind of name that means serious danger. The instructor explains that long ago, Park Sang-do had once been selected as a disciple candidate, but he was ultimately expelled because even glory couldn't control his violent nature. His existence alone was considered dangerous. Back in the office, the younger instructor tries to calm himself, insisting that the kids aren't fools. He says they've been thoroughly trained, so nothing terrible should happen to them. Right? The head instructor's face darkens with dread. Sweat runs down his temples as he mutters that the situation is far worse than they thought. Calling Park Sang-do that bastard, he realizes the kids may now be facing a monster they were never prepared for. The instructor freezes, staring at the news in horror. The assistant rushes in, panicked, asking what happened to the kids. The instructor snaps back that they're already deep into their mission right now. But when he tries to call them, no one answers. His expression darkens as he realizes this wasn't just a simple assignment. The instructor finally says the name of the man behind it all. Park Sang-do. We cut to the past, where Park Sang-do was once selected as a disciple candidate, but was thrown out because even the guild couldn't control him. The assistant tries to stay optimistic, saying the kids are capable. But the instructor, sweating, insists that none of that matters, because that man is truly dangerous. The kidnapper casually explains what he used on them, acting like it's all just trivia. He talks about chloroform like he's quoting a movie, completely confident that they should have been out cold. He keeps going, saying that when normal people pass out from it, they always sleep slack-jawed, basically hinting that he knows exactly what to expect from his victims. But then we see Yuna. She's lying there, perfectly still, except her lips are sealed shut. No open mouth, no unconscious breathing posture, which means one thing: she's not actually asleep at all. The shocked student calls out to the instructor, saying they need to hurry before anything worse happens. He's clearly panicking now that he realizes just who they're up against. The instructor, steady but grim, explains that Park Sang-do isn't just some criminal. He's someone capable of truly horrific things, the kind of person who won't hesitate to go too far. The student nearly shouts back, frustrated and scared. This isn't the moment for long explanations or hesitation. Their friends have already been taken, and if they don't move now, it might be too late. Yuna freezes for a second, mind racing. She realizes he's already seen through her act, and that playing dumb won't work anymore. Her eyes sharpen as she quickly weighs her options. In her head, she can already picture it. That creepy smile, those cold hands reaching out. If he gets them, he won't hesitate. He'll literally cut off their legs. The kidnapper crouches beside Yuna, his expression calm and clinical as he checks her pulse. Just then, a faint vibration comes from her pocket. He pauses, eyes narrowing, and slowly reaches for the phone. He pulls out the purple phone and studies the screen for a moment. A small smirk curls onto his lips as he accepts the call, like he already knows exactly who's on the other end. Cut to the instructor gripping his phone tightly, his face tense. He speaks into the receiver in a low, controlled voice. Park Sang-do. Sang-do doesn't even try to hide his anger. He coldly warns him over the phone that if the kids get hurt even a little, he'll risk everything to hunt him down. But the kidnapper just smiles like this is some friendly catch-up call. He acts casual, greeting him and pretending nothing's wrong, like he didn't just threaten him. Then he twists the knife. He mocks Sang-do, asking if he's scared the kids will end up crippled, just like him. The insult lands hard, and you can see Sang-do barely holding back his rage. The instructor just freezes for a second, jaw tight, like he's trying not to explode through the phone. You can see it in his eyes. He's seriously pissed, but he's forcing himself to stay calm. Meanwhile, the kidnapper is way too relaxed, crouching in front of her like he's chatting over coffee, asking with this creepy smile how many legs will still be working when the instructor arrives. He's enjoying every second of this. Back in the room, the junior instructor is trying to lighten the mood, asking what the bet is actually going to be about. But in his head, he's panicking, wondering why the instructor is even entertaining this instead of already running out the door. The instructor is frozen for a second, leaning over the desk, and you can just see him shaking. It's not fear for himself, it's fear for the kids. His mind is racing because he knows exactly what Park Sang-do is capable of. Cut back to the warehouse. The kidnapper is still calm as ever, mocking them while yelling into the darkness, daring the instructor to come out. Yuna and Sungu are still tied up, completely helpless while he taunts their names like it's a game. Then he casually looks at his phone again, sounding bored while he talks. He reminds the instructor that the weak ones always get targeted first and that he should probably hurry, because he's about to start the real nightmare any moment now. Yuna whispers to him, trying to see if he's conscious at all, but with his mouth hanging open like that, it really looks like he's actually asleep, which just makes her even more stressed. She panics internally, wondering how someone could be this relaxed when they've literally been kidnapped. Of all times to nap, why now? Realizing she can't rely on him, she decides to act herself. Slowly, carefully, she starts untying her shoelace with her toes, determined to free at least one hand so she can try something. Yuna snaps awake and sees Sungu already alert, calmly sitting there like nothing's wrong. She stretches her leg out to poke his cheek and whispers, half annoyed, half relieved, "What are you doing? You were already awake." He answers in the same quiet tone, "I wasn't asleep in the first place." Flustered, Yuna rushes to explain herself, insisting she was only trying to wake him up. He raises a brow when she says she was going to use the smell to do it, and she quickly backtracks, clearly embarrassed, while he stays oddly composed. Then she steels herself, remembering her training. Yuna starts slamming her bound wrists against the ground, gritting her teeth through the pain as she tries to loosen the rope. She urges Sungu to do the same, shouting at him to hurry, while he watches her with a focused, unreadable expression. Yuna freezes for a second, staring at him like he's speaking nonsense. She can't believe he already slipped free without her noticing, and her voice cracks as she asks when he did it. Sungu keeps his tone calm. He explains that he never fully let his guard down. If the kidnapper had tried anything worse, he would have stepped in immediately. His broken restraints hit the floor. Yuna finally realizes this isn't some random abduction. He reminds her that the man they saw has a past connection to glory, meaning this whole thing was planned with purpose. Sungu suddenly changes the subject, asking Yuna if she likes gambling, like this is all just some casual conversation while they're still in danger. Yuna hurries after him, totally confused, demanding to know what he's even talking about as he keeps walking with purpose. He pauses for a moment, as if he's about to explain the risky plan forming in his head. The two guys size him up like, "Bro, office job and still this bold?" But they remind him they're on a mission, so if he wants to live, he better start talking. The apron guy doesn't even flinch. He just calmly asks where Choi Yunchang's son is, like this is a casual chat and not a kidnapping lair. Then he smiles and suggests a bet. Since these kids like running their mouths so much, he wants to see how confident they really are. The two guys glance at each other, then grin like they've already won. They don't even hesitate as they agree to the bet, totally confident in themselves. Meanwhile, the instructor is racing through the night, gripping the steering wheel so hard his knuckles go white. Hearing the terms of the bet makes his heart drop. He knows exactly what that psychopath means. Inside his head, he's screaming. If they really go along with this, the kids won't just be in danger. They'll be stepping right into the killer's game. The guy coolly slides his hand behind his back, acting all casual even though the tension is insane. Then he suddenly pulls out two massive blades with a creepy grin, saying that if they lose, one of them has to hand over a leg. He's so confident that none of them stand a chance. One of the students laughs it off, saying he thought this dude was just some boring office worker, but clearly he's got a twisted side. Still, he asks if the guy is really sure he'll be okay with that bet, because they're not exactly easy prey. Those two don't hold back at all. They rush straight in, laughing like this is just another game, promising that the guy will never walk again once they're done. But before either of them can even react, one of the knives slips from his grip and skids across the floor. He freezes, confused, like his brain can't keep up with what just happened. And then the kidnapper steps forward calmly, like he's still in total control. He smiles and holds out his hand, saying that bets are only interesting when both sides are playing under fair conditions, making it clear he doesn't see them as equals yet. Dako Hyung cracks his neck and grins, bragging that the office worker will regret agreeing to this. He twirls the knives like it's second nature and boasts that blades are his specialty. He explodes forward at insane speed, the air ripping around him. A caption pops up revealing his identity. Honor Orphanage 58th Generation, Dako Hyung, known for speed and terrifying knife skill. Another caption flashes. He isn't just good. He's the #1 knife fighter from Divine Honor High School. He lunges straight for the man's throat. But the smiling office worker calmly blocks the slash like it's nothing, stopping the blade mid-swing. He keeps exchanging blows, thinking this guy isn't actually that impressive. Same knife, same reach. But technique-wise, he's got the edge. If the fight keeps dragging on, the small cuts will pile up and the win will be his. But then his eyes widen. Something feels off. The pressure behind each strike suddenly spikes, and he realizes this isn't the same flow as before. He stares at the blade, confused. It's clearly the same knife, but somehow, every swing coming from the suited man feels heavier, faster, sharper, as if the weapon itself changed mid-fight. Dako Hyung's mind is spinning. He was sure he had the upper hand, but suddenly his swings feel heavy, slow, wrong. The moment his blade clashes, something feels completely off. He jumps back, eyes wide, staring at the knife in his own hand like it's betraying him. The office worker just stands there calmly, like nothing unusual is happening at all. His teammate rushes over, confused and tense. Dako Hyung grits his teeth, veins popping in anger as he growls. This dirty son of a... He lifts the knife up, realizing it isn't cutting right. Something has definitely been switched. Dako Hyung freezes when he realizes the truth. The guy's been fighting with a blade that doesn't even have an edge. All that pressure he felt was just pure skill. Before Hyung can process it, Jae and Yuna rush in, calling out to him. They're ready to back him up and jump into the fight without hesitation. But Hyung simply raises his hand, signaling them to stop. His expression says it all. Don't interfere. This is my fight. Dako Hyung snaps at them, shouting not to step in. This fight is between them and the psycho, and he won't let anyone else take that away. Kim Sung-gu keeps his cool and tells them straight. If they can't beat this guy, then he won't be able to either. So the only thing they should do is stand back and watch. The two fighters share a glance, totally fired up. They both agree without hesitation. This is their fight, and they're seeing it through to the end. These two lock eyes with the kidnapper, calm but deadly serious. They say he has no clue what's really driving them, no idea what they've gone through to get here. Then we cut to the truth behind their resolve. This whole insane situation, it all ties back to one final test they have to overcome to complete their orphanage. And that final test has a name. Out there in the dark forest under a cold night sky begins what they call Hell Month. They explain how brutal their training really was. Instead of food or water, the kids were dumped into the wilderness with nothing but a single pistol and one bullet to share. Surrounded by countless wild beasts, glowing eyes staring at them from the dark forest, the children had no choice. If they wanted to live, they had to fight, run, and do anything necessary to survive. That one bullet kept changing hands. Sometimes it was used to hunt. Other times it was turned on their own friends. Survival wasn't about right or wrong anymore. It was just about living one more day. The gunshot echoes, and the kids watch in shock as one of them uses the last bullet on himself. The reality hits them hard. In this place, survival is every man for himself. So they push forward with everything they have. Hunting, fighting, clinging to life day after day. They don't want to die. They desperately fight to survive, no matter how brutal the world becomes. He remembers how they guarded that last bullet like it was life itself, never wasting it no matter how desperate things got. Because deep down, they both understood there would come a moment when those final shots would decide everything. And when that day finally came, they stood face to face with a monster towering over them, knowing their fate rested on just two pulls of the trigger. After hearing about the boy called Disciple Pietro, the two realized just how terrifyingly strong he must have been. Out of everyone, he survived without ever firing his bullet. That record becomes their obsession. From that moment, they spend the next decade chasing that legend. Training, fighting, bleeding, all to reach the level of the monster who didn't need a single shot to live through Hell Month. And now, standing in this rundown warehouse, they've finally arrived at the truth in front of them. Because the man they've been preparing themselves for, the one they've walked through hell to surpass. Dako Hyung finishes explaining that everything they've done was to become like Pietro, to be recognized as the strongest. His voice is calm, but there's a madness underneath it. Kim Sung-gu listens quietly, his expression unreadable. He finally understands just how deep their obsession goes. Dako Hyung grins, licking his lips like he's enjoying every second of this. Ajusi, you're just... Before he can even finish the sentence, something crashes into the ground with unbelievable force, the impact shaking the floor and blowing dust everywhere, cutting him off mid-speech. Both brothers rush in at once, shouting that he's nothing but a stepping stone in their path. Their blades swing down together, confident they'll overwhelm him. But the office worker-looking man reacts first. He grabs one brother mid-charge and slams him hard into the floor, stopping him instantly. The remaining brother yells in shock, calling out to his Hyung, panic finally breaking through his calm. Before he can fully react, the man turns coldly and reminds them, almost casually, that he already warned them as he prepares to counter the rest of the attack. The guy launches himself through the air, blade raised high, shouting that the office worker is going to regret ever handing him a knife. He's fully confident this is the finishing blow. The suited man doesn't even flinch. He gives a calm, almost mocking smile and says he was actually thinking maybe he should take something else instead of a leg. He blocks the attack with ease and twists the knife hand midair. Coldly, he suggests maybe cutting off the kid's arm would be more interesting. Then his expression turns serious. He runs a finger along the knife and explains the real problem. If the blade has no edge and he can't cut his opponent with it, what happens next? The two brothers rush in together, blades flashing, aiming to overwhelm him in one clean strike. They're convinced that this one moment will decide everything. But the office worker doesn't even step back. He twists his body at the last second, grabbing one of them mid-charge and slamming him straight into the floor. The other brother shouts his name in panic and desperation, realizing the situation has flipped in an instant. As he leaps down with his knife to save his brother, the office worker calmly says he already warned them. They'd regret putting knives in his hands. Dako Hyung charges in again, but this time he hesitates mid-swing, staring at the broken shards on the floor. He realizes the office worker didn't just block him, he shattered the blade with pure strength. The man calmly flips the heavier kukri in his hand, explaining that it isn't just some knife. It's a Nepalese machete built for power, not speed. Jay and the girl watch tensely. The man continues, saying he's trained with this weapon his entire life. His tone is relaxed, almost like he's teaching a class instead of fighting for survival. A cold grin forms on his face. He says the kukri is faster than a normal blade, heavier than an axe, and in the right hands, absolutely deadly. Both brothers charge in together, swinging with everything they've got, but Sangdo meets them head-on. His stance doesn't even break. The moment their blades clash, he slips through their guard like water. One brother roars in frustration, veins bulging as he lunges again, but Sangdo is already gone from his sight, moving faster than either of them can follow. Sangdo darts low across the floor like a bullet, completely calm while the brothers swing wildly above him. They realize too late that this guy isn't struggling at all. He cuts past them in a blur, the heavy kukri carving the air like lightning. The brothers stagger back, eyes wide, finally accepting the truth. This Ajusi is way beyond anything they imagined. He isn't fighting to survive. He's hunting. The two brothers, barely conscious and covered in wounds, still try to warn Yuna and Sungu to escape. Even now, they're thinking about protecting them instead of themselves. Yuna panics and shouts their names, rushing forward. Park Sangdo doesn't even look bothered. He calmly says they're still alive and wonders why she's yelling so much, like this is all something trivial. Then he smiles, eyes cold behind his glasses. He reminds them that, win or lose, a bet still has stakes. And now that the fight is over, it's time for him to take what he's owed. With a smooth motion, he raises the kukri skyward, announcing exactly what he plans to do. One leg from each of them. His voice is casual, but his eyes show he means every word. Sangdo pauses mid-swing, that calm, bored look still in his eyes while the others panic. He clearly doesn't feel rushed at all, like he's just mildly curious about what comes next. The desperate shouting keeps echoing, but Sangdo ignores it. His gaze shifts, sharp and unreadable, as if he's already decided the outcome and is only entertaining everyone out of amusement. Then he slowly turns his head, eyes half open, and that chilling smile fades. His expression says it all. This bet isn't a joke to him. It's something darker. The tension spikes instantly. Everyone freezes. Sangdo's stare alone makes it clear. If they say the wrong thing now, someone's really losing a leg. Sangdo bursts into a grin. He finds Sungu entertaining, exactly what he'd expect from someone raised by glory. He agrees to the new bet without hesitation. Sungu casually kicks aside the knife that was tossed toward him earlier. Sangdo smiles again, reminding him that bets are only fun if the conditions are fair. He extends his hand, offering Sungu a weapon so the real game can begin. Yuna panics and yells out, trying to warn him. She knows exactly how deadly that weapon is, and she's terrified he's about to walk straight into it. But instead of grabbing the knife, we see a bowl filled with bright, colorful flowers. Completely out of place. Completely unexpected. He stands there calm and confident, holding the bowl like it's the most natural thing in the world, and smiles. Sang-do just stares for a second, then lets out this smug little chuckle, like he honestly can't believe what he's seeing. And then he just loses it. Full-on laughter. He's doubled over, saying this is the funniest thing he's seen in ages, wiping at fake tears like it's comedy night instead of a death match. But that smile flips fast. He lunges forward without hesitation, kukri raised high, promising he won't hold back just because his opponent's a kid. The student doesn't flinch. He swings a massive kick, sending out a shockwave that slices through the air towards Sang-do, turning the fight into something way beyond a normal brawl. Sang-do rushes in again, laughing at how Jay is using the tray as a shield. He mocks him, saying it won't last long against that kukri. He raises the blade high, confident and wild-eyed, shouting that the tray probably can't even survive a single serious strike. Cut to the driver, his eyes wide as he speeds through the night. Panic flashes across his face, because he knows exactly how dangerous Sang-do truly is. Gripping the wheel tighter, he thinks back to that terrible day. He refuses to let history repeat itself, and he floors the accelerator. Park Sang-do stands tall, blade glinting under the red light, his presence heavy and terrifying. The man driving clenches the wheel, mind racing as he swears he won't let the past repeat. He refuses to lose anyone else to this monster. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a casino. A calm female dealer stands at a roulette table, doing her best to stay composed. The atmosphere is elegant, but tense. She forces a polite smile while addressing the guest before her. The words echo again. Make a bet. The phrase hangs in the air like a challenge, tying the present to an older memory. We see Sang-do from back then, relaxed in a warm casino glow, casually eating fried chicken while smiling. He asks the dealer whether she thinks he'll walk out alive or dead, inviting her to gamble on his fate. His tone is playful, but underneath is something cold and fearless. He calmly announces his bet, saying he's staking everything on his own survival, while an entire squad of armed killers gathers around him. One of the executives steps forward and coldly explains that the company has had enough of the trouble he's caused. To settle the outrage, they've decided he'll be the sacrifice. They make it official. He's fired, cut off completely, and left to face the consequences alone. A whole team of elite B-rank assassins rushes him at once, all of them confident that ending him will be easy. The guy from Glory remembers that day clearly. Even with how skilled Park Sang-do was, taking on 5 veteran killers at once should have been impossible. But then he recalls watching Sang-do's knife work with his own eyes and how unreal it felt in that moment. Sang-do cut through them like he wasn't even human, moving faster and sharper than anything they'd ever seen. That's when the truth hit him. Sang-do had already gone far beyond normal human limits. Park Sang-do remembers the moment his past life as a killer ended. Back then, it didn't matter what weapon someone used. Chainsaw or knife, none of that was important. The only thing that truly decided the fight was how terrifying the person wielding that weapon was. Back in the present, Sang-do swings again with brutal speed, testing the student. The force behind each strike shows exactly why he was feared. Sang-do smiles calmly, eyes sharp. You're lucky, student. But tell me, what exactly are you planning to do now? He looks at the broken tray pieces in his hands like it's nothing, almost impressed. He calmly says that the kukri isn't even meant to be used that wildly, so the fact it split the shield like that means the attacks were way stronger than he expected. Yuna panics, realizing how dangerous this has become. She starts moving in, determined to help somehow, even if she doesn't know what she can actually do. Before anyone can react, Sang-do suddenly lunges forward. His movements are sharp and brutal, the kukri flashing downward like a guillotine. With a sickening impact, the blade slams down toward the student, the air itself seeming to split from the force. The fight just got way more serious. Yuna suddenly realizes it. The tray wasn't meant to defend at all. Her voice shakes as she watches him calmly standing there. Putting the pieces together like this was planned from the start. He holds both halves of the metal tray, one in each hand. His voice is quiet but steady. He thanks Sangdo for helping him out, because now he has two blades instead of none. Sangdo laughs, impressed. This kid isn't normal, and now he knows it for sure. His expression shifts, calculating, wondering if everything that happened so far was really just chance. Without another word, Sangdo charges in again. Steel flashes through the air. But this time, the student meets him head-on, both metal shards cutting through the darkness like fangs, ready to clash. I was sure I'd landed it clean like done deal. But the second the blade should have ended it, something feels off. Instead of collapsing, the guy instantly creates distance, fast. Like he's reading me, not reacting. That tiny step back says it all. He's not scared, he's recalculating. He shakes it off and starts piecing me together in his head. How I moved, how I pulled it off, how I'm even holding weapons like it's normal. Then he drops the act and talks to me like I'm some mystery problem he wants to solve. Hey, kid, where'd you learn that? Before I can answer, he goes straight to action, whips his coat off, and lunges him like he's done this 1,000 times. Meanwhile, I'm just standing there with the bags, looking way too calm for someone he thinks is just a student. At this point, I don't care if it's luck or if he's doing it on purpose. Either way, I need proof, one clean check to know what I'm dealing with. He charges in like he's confident the gap is his advantage. Full commit, trying to overwhelm me and end it fast. But I don't move like someone panicking. I just watch, waiting for the exact moment. I step in and swing. No hesitation, no wasted motion. The slash cuts through the space between us like it's already planned, like I'm forcing the outcome instead of reacting to him. And the second I feel it connect, it clicks. He smirks like he's confirmed something too, thinking he's still dealing with a kid. But in my head it's simple. This time, I know I got him. The second something feels wrong, my brain freezes for a split second, like, wait, what? That hit should have landed. I'm right behind him, blade through the motion, and I know I felt contact, but he's still standing like nothing happened. No stumble, no blood, no panic, just smooth. Then I spot it, and it's so stupid it's genius. The grocery bag. He stuffed a thick cushion inside and let me slice that instead. He doesn't even look rattled. Just calm, focused like he's already moved on to the next step. Because for him, that wasn't a save, it was a test. The space opens up between us and the warehouse. Both of us resetting our footing. No talking now. Just that heavy silence where the next move decides everything. Then I see it. One drop sliding off the blade. Blood. And my stomach drops with it because that means he did land something. I replay it in my head and it hits me how close it was. He got behind me instantly and went straight for the neck with zero hesitation. I blocked, but the angle was too perfect. He was aiming right at my carotid like he'd done 100 times. I square up and lock eyes with him, bag still raised like a shield and the blade ready in my other hand. And I say what we're both thinking now. No more pretending. Are you really a student? It finally clicks for him. That tray shouldn't be able to cut through thick clothes and stop a knife clean like that. So something about me is way off. And the moment he hesitates to think it through, I'm already moving, launching straight in, eyes locked on the one weak point I can actually reach, his exposed neck. We clash up close. He throws his guard up fast, but I'm not trading blows for fun. I'm forcing openings, pushing the knife line higher, trying to slip past that last bit of defense. His feet scramble to keep up, and you can feel his panic creeping in. At this speed, he can't match me anymore. And in his head, the student question stops matching. The real question becomes, what the hell is this kid? The way I swing that heavy cleaver is straight up unreal. His eyes go wide because it's not just speed. There's power behind it that doesn't feel human. He flashes back to the rule he already knows. That kukri/cleaver has insane weight, and every time it comes around, anything near it gets wrecked. If it connects even once, you're dead. No, maybe. But then he catches one weakness and clings to it. My adjustment after each swing is slower than Kim Sunga's. Like the weight is dragging my recovery just a bit. So he makes his decision, drag this out. If the fight turns into a long exchange, that tiny gap becomes the win condition. and in a prolonged fight, he's convinced Kim Sung-gu takes it. He barely reacts, but there's a thin cut across his face now. Not deep, just enough to prove the blade actually reached him. The girl freezes, hand over her mouth. In her head, it's loud as hell. Kim Sung-gu got hit? That wasn't supposed to happen. And he answers that shock with cold logic, like he's teaching a lesson mid-fight. If you want to kill something big, you use the right tool. Same principle here. Then he makes it worse. He pulls out a massive cleaver, and at the same time, a second knife flashes in his other hand. That's when it hits everyone watching. There were weapons hidden inside the bag the whole time, and now he's done playing. The cut on his face stings, but his eyes are steady. He's already analyzing my weapon like it's a math problem. Then the truth hits. That kukri is heavy, way heavier than a normal knife. That weight was the only reason my swings had so much pressure, but it also slows me down. And the second he realizes it, he switches modes. He stops respecting the power and starts targeting the weakness, because once I drop that weight, I can't keep controlling the pace. He bursts forward with a straight, fast stab, clean and direct. In that moment, it's obvious. If this turns into a speed fight, my advantage disappears. The moment he drops the heavy weapon play, the whole fight snaps into a new gear. Rapid strikes, tight angles, and sparks flying every time our blades collide. The girl's eyes widen because it's obvious now. That Juicy isn't just quick. He's way faster than before. Like he flipped a switch and stopped holding back. But then she notices something that doesn't add up. The gimlet is supposed to be a stabbing tool, straight, precise. So why does it feel like he's setting up for something else? And as she sees it clearly, he's actually swinging the gimlet like a slashing weapon, using speed and weird angles to create pressure, not just to poke. It's unpredictable, and that's exactly why it's working. He plants his foot hard and explodes forward. No more circling, no more testing. He's going all in. His face twists with rage as he yells for me to die, like he's trying to drown out the fear with volume. He thrusts the gimlet straight at my chest, aiming for a clean kill shot, fast, sharp, and desperate. But at the last second, my hand snaps up and clamps the handle mid-strike, stopping it cold like it's nothing. His fingers twitch on the handle like his brain can't accept what just happened. He's trying to force it back, but his grip won't obey. Then it slips. The weapon drops between us, and the light above makes it feel unreal for a second. In his head, it's only one word: impossible. He blurts out, "What?" And I hit him with the simplest, most disrespectful line, telling him to stop putting strength into his hand like that's the problem. Like I'm correcting bad technique, not fighting for my life. He goes quiet, head lowering as everything connects. Then that bitter smile creeps back in. Now he gets it, and the anger comes with it. I get it now, you bastard. He finally rewinds the whole exchange and realizes the truth. Those neck feints were never the real target. That was just misdirection to make him react. From the very first rush, I was steering him into using his hand a certain way, forcing him to grip, thrust, and tense at the worst possible timing. And now he's staring at his own fingers like they don't belong to him anymore. His voice drops, half angry and half confused. "Kid, what did you do to my hand?" I answer like it's obvious, quiet, clinical. Not magic, not a trick knife, just anatomy, the flexor. I lay it out like a checklist. Extensors, abductors, median, radial ulnar. Every single line that lets your hand work is just wiring and tissue, and you need all of it to keep a grip. Then I hold up the evidence, blood on the blade, my stance calm. And I say it straight: I didn't hit you. I cut everything you rely on to hold a weapon. I look him in the eye and keep going because this was never a lucky moment. From the very beginning, this was the plan: disable first, control the fight. And I finish it with the coldest part. I never came here to kill him. I came here to make sure he couldn't fight back and to get what I needed from him. He goes silent, jaw tight, and you can tell his pride is cracking. He's trying to breathe through it, but one thought keeps looping: I can't accept this. He looks up at me across the floor, and this student illusion is completely gone. The guy standing there isn't a kid. He's something that survived way too many fights. His eyes widen like he's finally putting a name to the feeling. Not fear of losing, fear of what I am. And the question slips out before he can stop it. Just how many? In his head, I'm not a person anymore. It's a predator wearing a human face. Like a beast behind me, teeth bared, and the thought finishes itself. Have you devoured? I bring up his own words and make him hear it again. Yeah, he said it before. A cheap nickel-silver tray should never be able to shut down a cast-iron knife. Then I tighten my grip and step in, tone dropping like the lesson's over. To finish this, no more talking, no more testing. I look him dead in the face and tell him what's about to happen. I'll show you how a rock gets destroyed by an egg. Not with one big hit, but with something small, repeated, and inevitable.